Waiting for the stream to actually. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to end up having to start and stop stream with music if I keep doing that stupid shit. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm Monk. He's Jack. Say hi, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
Jack, how are you tonight, my friend?
Yeah, I'm all right. How you doing?
Mostly good. Mostly good. Can't complain too much, so I'm not gonna. Instead, well, actually, I'm going to complain a little bit because you kind of ruined my day. I was in a decent mood until you said to me, "Hey, did you hear they're rebooting Scrubs?" And now I'm slightly irritated. I'm not going to lie to you. Scrubs is one of my favorite shows. One, they already tried that with season 9. Season 9 was a reboot of the show, and it didn't go well.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever seen season 9 of Scrubs?
No, I don't think so. I haven't seen that much of Scrubs to begin with. It just wasn't my thing.
I love Scrubs. I've watched the first 8 seasons repeatedly. There's parts of it that I can quote verbatim because I love it. I love the way that they did it. And then they should have ended on season 8. The final episode of season 8 would have been the perfect send-off for it. And then they're like, no, let's make a season 9 where all of the main characters are different and JD and Dr. Cox only show up once in a while. The janitor, who's one of the best characters, is literally in it for half a second.
What?
He finds JD left, so he drops his broom and just leaves.
Oh, that's fucking dumb.
Yeah, it was dumb as shit. It is a really, really bad season. I couldn't even get through it. Frank, thank you so much. Who says leave Scrubs alone? Yeah, because I know what they're going to do. They're going to full on make JD gay. And he was Go
ahead. I was guessing they're going to have 2 LGBTQIA people, one full on gay and one trans.
Yeah, and that'll be the new gay and Turk. And we don't need that. JD was always an effeminate character, but he was still firmly heterosexual.
Not anymore.
And they're just going to gay the whole thing up, and you don't need to do that. And they're going to make it dumb. And they're going to have a quality episode. Get fucked. No, don't mess with Scrubs.
You'll have to have one episode about racism, one episode about generalized acceptance of some group or other. Then they'll have a pronoun episode.
They'll have an episode where black women are not given the same maternity treatment as white women.
Yeah.
I can already see where this shit's going. No, just leave it alone.
You know, they did that on Chicago hospital show. Chicago.
I didn't, but I'm not shocked.
Yeah, they just did that like the other day. I had to sit there and watch it because my sister loves that show. And I was like, I don't want to fucking watch this. Well, I want to watch it. No, we're taking care of the folks. And Dad's like, don't leave it on. I'm like, I don't want to watch this shit.
I became an accidental fan of Scrubs. It just used to be on when we were making dinner.
Oh.
And occasionally I would catch an episode and it grew on me. And I really learned to love it to the point. Yeah, I have all 8 seasons. Oh, actually, I have all 9 seasons because I didn't know how 9 was. But on DVD, I love it, and it bothers me that they're going to go fuck it up.
Yeah, they said it's going to be a mixture of new characters and returning cast members.
That's literally what they did in 9, and it was a failure.
Well, just to add to your woes, first let me grab a couple things, then I'm going to ruin it a little more. Thank you, Shio. No, I don't want no Scrubs.
They're the kind I don't want no new Scrubs.
And thank you, Evolve Potato. Speaking of terrible reboots, they're rebooting The Office in Australia. I've seen some of the clips, and it's terrible. I assume Scrubs will be just as bad. Oh, quite likely. But you know the creator, Bill Lawrence of Scrubs?
Yeah.
He's not going to be in charge of this one.
Of course not.
Because he's got a conflict with a show called Cougar Town, which has an exclusive with Warner Brothers, and Scrubs is owned by Disney 20th Century. So Disney is, of course, going to make it hyper woke.
Why? Frank, thank you so much. Who says they'll make Elliot trans? Yeah, they'll make it. They'll probably even still use Sarah Chalk.
Yeah.
She's old enough now that she could look like a trans man, I suppose.
Yeah, she was so hot back in the day.
Oh, she was gorgeous. Yeah. Why they gotta fuck with that? You know what?
I don't know.
I'll probably catch an episode or two to see how bad it is, but Scrubs is one of those things that's like lightning in a bottle. You can't just recapture it.
Yeah, yeah. There was a time and a place, and
Mhm.
that has come to an end. They've already moved on to other projects. People's lives are different now. Apparently, there was talk. There was some interest by some of the cast to do a reunion, but they're not. They decided not to do that. Instead, they're going to do this. And Zach Braff is supposed to be attached to this, but I don't know.
I mean, I could see Zach and Donald and all of them wanting to do it because none of them have really gone on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, and Zach Braff and the black dude, whatever his name is,
Donald
they've been doing
Laison, or
yeah something like that. They've been doing commercials
yep,
for like fabric softener or something together.
they've done tons of commercials. They did pizza commercials. They've done phone commercials, and they all play on the JD Turk relationship. Frank, thank you. I don't know if I got past episode 3 of season 9. Season 9 was just trash. Donald Faison, that's how you say it. Sorry. None of them have really gone on to bigger and better things, but they shouldn't have to. They should have been well compensated for 8 years of television.
Yeah.
Oh God. Anyway, since we're talking about gay stuff, I guess we should get into Obama, huh? Should we? Okay, I'm gonna let you choose.
Oh no.
We have the Obama clip we have to watch. We have Tim Walz talking to Michael Strahan, and we have the manly men of TikTok for Obama. I'm sorry, Kamala. Easy mistake to make. They both look like almost black men.
I think we should do it in exactly that order. Start
All
with
right.
Obama and then work our way down because it just gets worse from there.
It does. And for those of you who didn't see this, I don't know who thought this was a good idea. Let me get the right
I
presentation
don't
mode
think
here.
anybody thought this was a good idea. Obama does not look like he wants to be here.
Look how old he looks.
He looks terrible.
Man, he has aged a lot in just like the last 3 years. But and I will give him this for being half white. He really does look like an old black man.
He looks like a super old black man.
Yeah. Like he should be on a porch somewhere yelling at the kids.
Yeah.
And he should have hey, Barack, at your age, as a black man, you need that salt and pepper beard.
Yeah.
That
He
just
should have like
it looks better.
facial stubble. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's fucking up the stereotype.
He's ruining it.
He's ruining it. That's because he's half white and he doesn't know any better.
Oh.
He's half white and was raised all white. Johnny, thank you so much. Please tell me you saw the Whitmer clip. I saw that fucking video. Oh, you know what? Let's start with that because Jack, it's really short.
Yeah, I saw it. It's a
Oh,
hot mess.
yeah, I don't know if I retweeted it, so I don't know how fast I can find it.
It'll be on my timeline if you did.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just run over there and do that then, because I don't know who was like, you know what, this is a good idea.
Nobody said it was a good idea.
Somebody had to have gone, you know what, this'll show everybody. Officer Buck, thank you. The manly men for Kamala ad. Oh, you mean the male feminists for Kamala ad? Yes, basically. It's really bad. Oh, that must be the story about the reboot of Scrubs. I hate you now, Jack.
You're welcome.
I'll read it later.
You hate me till you have to go pee.
Cry. Fuck, how long ago did you retweet this, man?
It was yesterday sometime.
Oh, there.
I'm on the internet a lot.
And I wasn't really on at all yesterday, so oh god, this has music. We're gonna have to turn that off. I would really like to watch the music one that you tweeted.
Oh god, yeah.
But we'll get in trouble for copyright, so we can't even watch that one.
Yeah.
All right. So why is it already showing her?
I don't know.
Yep, that is Gretchen Whitmer feeding a Dorito to a chick like Catholics would get communion. What is this even supposed to represent?
I don't know. Apparently, this may have been some kind of sketch for a podcast or something like that, but I thought this was like some sort of generic OnlyFans lame content.
I I what was it supposed to be? What are you saying to me?
They're giving the Catholics a big middle finger.
Officer Buck, thank you. $5 says Scrubs reboot will go about as well as the Quantum Leap reboot. That's a sucker's bet, and I do not bet sucker's bets. But anyway, yeah, this is what Democrats think is smart. Look how edgy and cool we're being. The best you can get out of that is them being anti-religious. There's no other meaning there. Unless you honestly think God's a Dorito.
I mean, I rule nothing out at this point.
I can't say that God's not a Dorito. I haven't met him myself, but it seems a little bit like they're making fun of Catholics for reasons that make no sense to me.
Yeah.
Hey, Whitmer, I dare you to do that with Islam. Dress up as a warlord and marry a 9-year-old girl. I dare you. That was funny. I don't care what you think. Anyway.
I didn't say anything.
Obama has a message for black guys. He's got to talk to the bros. He actually says brothers in this, and I don't know if it's going to be in this clip or if it's in the first half that we're skipping over because I don't need to listen to the old man talk that long.
Yeah, well, he says brothers.
When he says it, he sounds as white as he half is.
Yeah. Oh, it's bad.
It does not come across as natural. And all I can think is, I hope he drops an N-bomb.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
It would have made me, at least then I would have had a little more respect for him. Like, you brothers need to get your act together. But use the N-word instead, with the soft A.
Yeah, I want to thank Fugi for sending me this clip too, because wow.
Yeah, so anyway, that is the gayest sweater I've ever seen. Is that actually a woman's sweater that dude's wearing? Huh.
I mean, probably.
I honestly didn't pay attention to the other people in the video when I watched this, but all right. For you black men out there, listen up. Obama's talking to you.
And you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses. I've got a problem with it because part of it makes me think. I'm speaking to men directly. Part of
black men directly. Be honest, Obama.
it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president.
I love his presentation there. The long pauses for no fucking reason, like he's in deep contemplation about what he's trying to say.
Yeah, he's always done that. It's fucking irritating.
You guys just don't want women to be in charge. Part of it is that. How do you know that, man? Did you talk to any of these guys? Have you, B-Rock, have you talked to, I do not know why they never went with the name B-Rock. It's like set up for him.
Yeah, it's better than Barry.
Yeah, B-Rock. That would have been my whole campaign slogan. Anyway, how many of the black men out there who are like, yeah, I ain't voting for this bitch, have you actually talked to?
Yeah, because I guarantee you it's not because she's a woman. It's because she's that woman.
God Dorito, thank you so much. If you eat me, you turn invisible. True story. Science rules up here in heaven, don't you know?
If Doritos could turn me invisible, that would be fucking outstanding.
If you haven't seen Ryan George's video on, it's on his actual channel, not on Pitch Meeting or anything, the Ryan George channel, where he does the creepiest superpower is being invisible. You should really watch it.
I'll have to check that out.
It's funny as hell. Anyway, so B-Rock here is telling everybody, hey, you men, you just don't want a bitch in charge. He should have said it like that too. At least say it with your chest, B-Rock.
Yeah, so you don't want no hoes running things.
And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that.
Oh, you see that? You guys tell me that you have reasons, but I know deep down in your soul what you really, it's just you don't want a woman in charge. That's what this man just said.
I mean, I get it, but
hey, to our black male audience members, stop being so sexist. B-Rock just told me you are, and I don't appreciate sexists. Stop being that way.
I'm largely indifferent, so
That deep
And
thought.
I think anybody you are talking to in a barbershop, anybody you are talking to in your house,
Did he really go barbershop talking about black men?
yes, and maybe he's gonna bring up like Popeyes next. Like when you're fighting at Popeyes, like how many stereotypes you gonna sit on there, dude?
When you're in the fruit section and you're picking out that big green one, Jesus Christ, B-Rock.
in your family.
By the way, this is the most black people he's ever been around.
Well, he did live in Kenya for a little while when he was a kid. And then he started eating dogs and stuff. Oh my God, maybe he lived in Springfield.
He probably did.
It wasn't even Kenya, it was just Springfield, Ohio.
It was him. He's the one that ate all the dogs and cats.
Holy shit. Why didn't anyone put that together before?
How come nobody blamed the Koreans for that? Remember when that used to be the thing? Or the Chinese? Or any of the Asians who will happily eat pets?
Well, if you've been to Springfield, there's not a whole lot of those people there.
Faithless says, as you sip in your 40s.
When you're on your porch
There's,
at 2 p.m.
If Donald Trump came out talking to black guys about being at the barber shop, they'd call it racist.
Absolutely.
Ah, fuck, man.
I'm
It
actually
must be nice
slightly more offended by Barack doing it.
It must be nice to be a liberal and be able to be as racist as you want, because they're the ones who would say that was racist.
Oh, you remember that one guy from Black Hammer that donated so much money he thought he could drop the N-word?
Oh, yeah. Undercover racist. They're not even undercover about it, man. By the way, that made me think of Undercover Brother, and if you've never seen that, it's one of my favorite movies, and my wife hates that I love that movie so much.
That's a really good movie.
I love Undercover Brother. It is fucking hilarious. I own the special edition on DVD.
Oh, of course you do.
That movie fucking rocks.
When he comes here first, Monkey can never criticize my movie choices ever again.
When he comes in and says that he slept with a white woman and they all come, what was it like? I fucking laughed so hard.
Yeah, that was funny.
All right, anyway.
A church who is coming with that kind of attitude, I think you have to ask them, well, how can that be? Because the women in our lives have been getting our backs this entire time.
Okay, can we just discuss that for a second, what he said there? He said that these people, they're not actually expressing any sexism that he can point to. In fact, they're dressing it up as other things, Jack.
Oh.
And then he says, and if you're at the barbershop or at church and people are coming with that energy, what, the energy of you having to guess that they're actually sexist because they're not saying anything sexist? Because that's what he's fucking talking about. I didn't say it. He did. I think part of it is that you just don't want a woman in charge. And you dress it up in all kinds of ways. Well, unless they're saying in some way, I don't want a woman in charge, then you don't know that's what it is. You're the one making it sexist. And then you're telling people to go out there and if they give you any excuse not to vote for Kamala. Let's say, hey, I don't want the bitch who can't answer a straight question from a biased source that's softball and meant to make her look good. Oh, you just don't like women.
You got me.
Literally anything you would say. Now you can't because it's sexist, because it's the dog whisper. It's a dog whisper, y'all. I'm not voting for her because she's unqualified and a retard. Oh, you just
dog
hate
whistle.
women. You hate women.
Yeah, you monster sexist.
They've been raising us and working and having our backs. And
black women are the one who came out and said black men are the new white men. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they've had your backs because, you probably grew up in a single parent household because of Lyndon Johnson's Great Society.
Hey, B-Rock, go date a white woman and see how much the black women have your back.
Yeah. Yeah, because they won't.
At all.
Yeah, not even a little bit.
Hashtag not all. Shio, thank you. Because they have more melanin, black puss has to be naturally warmer than white puss, right? I don't know, but now I want to. Do you think they've done studies on that?
Probably not, but I bet you could. I'm sure that some amateurs have studied that in the hoeing world, but I don't think there's been any scientific studies.
He then goes on to say, of course, Abby and Brittany would have to be half as warm. Indeed. Actually, I think the internals are all the same, so I don't think there's going to be any difference. Maybe if they're sunbathing and you touch the like the pubic mount or anything, then it'll be a little warmer to the touch. But internally, pretty sure it's all 98.6 on average.
I don't know. I'll wait for science to let me know. I trust the experts. You don't have a lab.
Did I ever tell you I used to get out of school because my average temperature is actually higher than 98.6?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it actually averages out to like 99. And at my schools, if you had a temperature, they would send you home.
Oh, wow. That's a
nice
get out of jail free card.
Yeah, and as soon as I realized that, I was like, I don't feel good today. And they could go down to the nurse and she'd take my temperature. Oh, it's 99. We need to call your mom. Like, oh, damn. Sick again. Yes, I actually did that. I was a sickly child as well, Jack. So maybe that was God punishing me for faking being sick.
I think there may have been a connection there.
Anyway, so back to B-Rock telling black men to stop hating black women. And I don't know why he's saying this. He married a black dude. He doesn't even like black women.
I don't know.
Saying.
Self-loathing?
All right.
When we get in trouble and the system's not working for us, they're the ones who are out there marching and protesting.
All right, let's say that's true. Let's say that the black women was mostly white guys, but black women were out there protesting and being like, hey, leave the black men alone. Is that a reason to vote for Kamala?
No. Well, she's Indian.
Even if she was 100% black, would what other black women do have anything to do with her?
No.
I mean, that's asinine. That is such a dumbass. Hey, you need to support this woman because black women exist.
Hey, she was in a freedom march and she was like, freedom!
Right? Black women were running around saying, hey, we need less police. How's that worked out for black folks? How your neighborhoods doing?
And so now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you?
Trump has a history of denigrating black men.
When?
Well, he has said bad things about some black men, like Barack, for instance. But he's also said it about white men, white women, black women, crippled people, retards. He's indiscriminate when it comes to talking shit. But they'll point and go, oh, he said Barack wasn't born in America because he got it from Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, I was going to say that was a Hillary Clinton talking point.
And that just shows he hates black men. There was the Central Park 5 that shows he hates black men.
Not really.
He had his picture taken hanging out with Jesse Jackson. How much can he really hate black men? He was with the king of black people.
He won humanitarian awards.
He got a history of denigrating you. No.
No, not really. No.
Kamala did think the way to reach black men, though, was to pretend she used to get high. I find that to be more denigrating than anything Trump has said.
A little bit.
Didn't Trump take a picture with Rosa Parks too? Yes. Trump has a long history of not being racist. Editor MG, thank you so much. Hey, Monk, new job changing tires and oil at Walmart. Fun stuff. Keep up the good work. Okay. I'm going to assume you're competent, but make sure you always put the oil cap back on. I cannot tell you how many cars we had to buy at Walmart, Jack, because some idiot wouldn't put the fucking oil cap back on.
My favorite is people that change tires and don't put the lug nuts back on the wheel.
Oh, yeah. Ron White has a great bit about that.
Yeah. I know a guy that happened to, and the tire fell off.
And not just the lug nuts back on, but all of them and tight.
Yeah, not snug, not real tight that you can't get them off again, because somebody's going to have to change that tire at some point.
True. But you just position the tire iron properly and jump on it. Just saying. Anyway.
Dane just pointed out a black bus driver stopped a woman from jumping off a bridge, and Trump gave the guy $10,000 as a thank you.
Yeah, there is no history of Trump denigrating black men as a whole. It's fucking retarded.
No, they're going to go with the somebody in his organization was discriminated against black people lawsuit for housing, but that wasn't specifically Trump.
Oh, it was the management company, and I mean, he's in charge of it, so technically, yeah, but there's been nothing since then, and that was in 78.
Yeah, and that was more like he hired bad management. That's not him saying, don't do this, don't let them rent here.
Did you happen to watch the appellate court there in New York going over the Letitia James case against Trump?
I caught part of it. I think Fugi tipped me off to that one too. But oh my god, yeah, we should cover that because that's crazy.
Those lawyers for the AG's office, they're worried about getting sanctioned.
They should be.
Mm-hmm. Because what they did was nonsense.
Probably illegal.
Anyway.
Real quick. Go sorry, go ahead.
No, you first, because I was just going to get back to the video. Go ahead.
Thank you, Frosted Glass. The black women in our lives have been there for us. When I was a kid, I got in a fight playing b-ball after school. My mama sent me to live with my aunt and uncle. By the way, I just realized neither Obama nor Kamala had black moms. Awkward. It's a good point.
Or dads in their lives.
Yeah. Well, Kamala's dad's family had a history of owning people, so oopsie poopsie.
Because you think that's a sign of strength? Because that's what being a man is?
B-Rock, tell me you didn't grow up in a black neighborhood without telling me you didn't. Yeah, snapping is a thing, and it is looked upon as a win. You think denigrating people, that's what's being manly? Not necessarily being manly, but it isn't frowned upon.
Yeah.
There's a whole music genre dedicated to it. Q, thank you. My favorite is DC Mayor Bowser tweets posing with Trump in 2014 saying she was glad he put Trump Tower in DC and that she's looking forward to working with him in the future. She changed her tune real fast on the basis of absolutely nothing. Laughed my ass off. Yeah. It is amazing how they've all changed and like, he's so racist. And now one of them was saying that shit before.
Yeah.
Damn, he looks like a skeleton. He's getting old. B-Rock is aging, man.
Yeah, I'd be willing to bet that Big Mike is riding him hard, putting him away. Greasy.
Putting him up wet.
Putting women down? That's not acceptable.
It's not acceptable to put women down, but he doesn't put women down. He puts specific women down because they're idiots.
Yes, that's very true. Thank you, Kamala's syphilitic fistulas.
Wow.
It could be worse. Most of your electorate, it could be media gobbling arseholes. That is a fact. That does seem to be what hers are. But thank you, Kamala's syphilitic fistulas.
This is another one of those things that they say about him all the time. He talks badly about women. No, he doesn't. He talks badly about specific women.
Yeah.
And that's entirely different. If I call somebody like if I say Barack Obama's a douchebag, I'm not insulting all men.
Man is a strong word for Barack, but okay.
Fair enough, but granted, he probably sits when he pees, but that's neither here nor there. The idea he's mean to women. You guys can't have it both ways. Either I get to treat women exactly as I treat anyone else, or you admit they're not equal. That's your choice. Tell me which one to go with, and I'll be happy to go with it.
Yeah. Thank you, Tupac. Yeah. Yo, Mazza Harris was good to us. Give us soft bread and a trough of water to drink from.
Who was that?
Tupac.
Well done. Well done. Well, I mean, is that not what he's saying?
That's exactly what he's saying.
All right. I can't watch any more of this idiot. But yeah, so there you go. Black men, you don't have any good reasons not to vote for Kamala. It's all sexism. And B-Rock told me so. So please stop being sexist. It is.
I say do you.
It's 2024. It's time that black men stop being sexist.
I will not judge you if you're a sexist against Kamala Harris, because not all of us want to have the Smilex treatment.
Before we get into the video of Timmy Walz, I feel like highlighting his post should be done, Jack, because I can't believe he had the balls to put this out. I really can't. Earlier today, our friend, oh no, that's Tim Wise. I need Tim Walz. Where's Tim Walz? There it is. He tweeted this out, Jack. All Donald Trump and JD Vance know about manufacturing is how to manufacture bullshit.
Wow, so edgy.
I just want to put it on the screen so everybody sees that I'm not making that up. And he or whoever's running his social media account actually used the word bullshit. Not one media outlet so far has been like, oh my God, Tim Walz swore.
Oh my. Oh,
have you noticed that if Trump says anything like he called the Colorado governor a chicken shit, we'll watch that video later.
Accurate.
If Trump said, oh my God, he swore. Can you believe he swore? But if Democrats do it, it's like, look how they clapped back.
Oh yeah. Be careful, edgelord. You'll cut your hand with that edge. Oh.
Editor, thank you. I turned 51 in March. Any advice for dealing with parents dealing with dementia and OCD-HD? Okay. I cannot give you any advice on that. I haven't had a mom since I was 14, and my dad died like 7 years ago. I miss them very greatly, but that's something I'm never going to have to deal with within my direct line, Jack. And my wife's parents are not dealing with any of that yet either. So I know you've dealt with a little bit of that. Any advice you want to impart?
You have to be willing to accept that at some point it's going to be out of your control, and they're probably going to need to go to a home. But until then, get used to repeating the same information 5 or 6 times. Don't get mad, just repeat it, because it's going to happen. You're going to have to explain the same thing over and over again. And if they get aphasia, they're going to use wrong words, and you're going to have to try and decipher that. And usually like my mom substitutes the same words, like napkin means towel, things like that. So, but the worst thing you have to really worry about is if they're mobile, they're going to try and wander off. So you have to put alarms on the doors and windows, and you'll probably have to have somebody live with them or have them move in with you. But be prepared to not be recognized or have your name remembered. That's going to be a serious heartbreak, but it's a good possibility that'll happen.
Wow. Thank you, Kamala's Superitic Anus. I think you should stop picking on the proud lesbian Barack that is your ex-president and her husband. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, and on the topic of that, I often miss my parents, Jack. But I'm glad I'm not going to have to go through that. I can't imagine.
Be prepared to change diapers, and the not getting recognized. Like my mom hasn't said my actual name in 2 years. I've been called my uncle's name. I've been called my brother's name. I got called Derek. We don't even know it, Derek. I get called the dog's name. She's not trying to do that, but she can't remember. She was having some trouble with that previously,
right?
Before the stroke. But yeah, when the dementia sets in, it's rough. You might want to put together a scrapbook too with everybody's names and pictures.
Rosie O'Donnell, thank you so much. I know for a fact that Trump hates women because he called me fat. He said it was only me, but I, as a fat, obnoxious lesbian, represent the average American woman. So reveals the real truth about his deeply hidden misogyny regarding me in particular. Now, in fairness, he has attacked other women. I mean, he went after Pocahontas and even Megyn Kelly. So the thing is, he's an equal opportunity insulter. It's not about race. It's not about sex. It's not about religion. It's not about ableism. If you fuck with him, he's gonna fuck with you back, and his go-to is to insult. Just saying. The left gets manly lies, monkey. Yeah, well, it's as manly as they can get.
You can't chug that much soy and have manly men.
They can't. All right. So Timmy Walz went on with Michael Strahan, and Jack, I don't know if you know, but Michael Strahan used to be in the NFL. And they made him a newsman for reasons that I can't explain.
I don't know.
He doesn't do a horrible job any worse than a trained journalist.
Yeah, what's that tell you about journalism these days?
Right.
Like, I thought he did okay. It's just, he's just like, was he a sports guy or something?
Yeah, he was in the NFL.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the guy with concussion syndrome is just as good as the Harvard journalism graduates.
Probably better. Let's be honest.
Probably, but you're not wrong. Anyway, he had some exclusive one-on-one time with Tim Walz, and I saw he had some exclusive one-on-one time with Doug Imhoff as well. And I was just wondering who at ABC hates Michael Strahan.
Right?
It's Anyway,
I get why they had him talk to Tim Walz, because he's coach, and you played football, so we're gonna subliminally say, Coach, he's a good guy, just some goofy knucklehead, right?
I suppose. I hadn't put that together, but maybe that's what they were going for. But then why Doug Imhoff? It's not like Strahan is known. He's not Ray Rice. He's not known for beating women.
Isn't he though? Oh, you meant Strahan.
Strahan, yeah,
yeah,
not Doug.
Yeah, they should have got somebody else to interview Imhoff. But yeah, I don't get that either. But he might have just been in the room, and they're like, all right. He's like, yeah, do me next. So they're like, oh, okay.
Thank you, God Rady. Have to Jack. And can I post a link to a pic of how extra credits got it wrong on how black people were orcs? I made a pic of how they got it wrong and how Argonians are farm equipment in lore. I mean, hang on one second. I have to add you as a moderator for it for a moment. And just so you know, I'm going to take it back because we have plenty of moderators around here. But there you go. You can toss it into chat now.
Thanks, God Ready.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for the donation. All right. So we got to watch Walz. Have you seen the clips of this?
Yep.
Oh, fuck, man.
Biden. Vice President Harris was asked this week on The View if she would have done anything differently than President Biden that he has done in the past 4 years. And she said,
oh, wait. Thank you, Dangerous Spaces. Trump talks badly about people he is in a fight with. He doesn't insult groupings in that process, such as McCain. That insult was Trump thinks other soldiers are far more skilled than McCain was. Yeah, it was a dig at McCain. It wasn't a dig at all soldiers. And yeah, it comes out the way he did the one at McCain. He did phrase that very badly. But it was a slap at McCain. He wasn't actually saying that about all soldiers. And you know, Jack, a lot of it comes from this pussy ass generation we have now. When you and I grew up, insults were just insults.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Schoolyard insults happened all the time. Fuck, they used to have TV. MTV had a show called Snaps, which was nothing but making fun of each other's mothers.
Yeah.
But now if you do that, oh, you just hate women. Like, no, I think your mom's a hoe. Anyway. Thank you, editor. On a lighter note, did you guys see the trans clone trooper thing? I did not.
Yes, I was going to surprise you with that later.
All right. We'll keep that one in the chamber.
I'm on it, editor.
In the past 4 years. And she said, quote, there's not a thing that comes to mind. And she later said she would have a Republican in her cabinet.
Yeah.
And when it comes to President Biden and the presidency, do you see anything that you would have done differently?
Yeah, and look, as a governor, I was asked to be governor of this state when Donald Trump was president and when Joe Biden was there. And I watched Donald Trump dismiss the COVID pandemic. I watched him drive an
He didn't dismiss the COVID pandemic. That's a fucking lie. This is the hoax thing, Jack.
Yep.
economy into the ground. And I watched Joe Biden and Kamala Harris pick those pieces up. And I think for all of us, we make decisions, we reanalyze afterwards. I think the thing that drew me to this ticket, and I think what the vice president's talking about, is that her values on these hasn't changed. They have.
What would you do different? I think what she's saying is her values haven't changed. No, she said she wouldn't do anything different.
Nobody on that campaign could answer a straight question with a simple answer. It's totally antithetical to them.
And nobody calls them on it. At this point, the first question that they should be asked is, can you answer a direct question?
Well, we grew up in a middle-class household.
Yeah, I guarantee you they wouldn't give you a straight answer on that. Ah, fuck.
Chippa jabba, chippa jabba, chippa jabba, chippa jabba.
He didn't ask you what you thought Kamala meant. He asked you, would you do anything different? If you were president, would you do anything different? And that is an important question, because if you guys win, you are a dick suck away from the presidency.
Yep. She
chokes on a pubic hair and you are the president.
Oh, I'm just a big doofy knucklehead. I'm just a silly doofus.
This guy's such a fucking retard, man.
Yep.
have been working for the middle class. They've been doing all they can to make sure prices come down. They're protecting reproductive.
They've been doing all they can to bring prices down.
Hate to
You
see
do
it if they were
realize
working the opposite way.
by saying that, all you're saying is they really suck at their job.
Yeah, that's true.
It would be better for you guys to say we didn't notice how bad it was getting, because at least then you can be like, so we got to work. We've decided to jump on this. And instead you're like, yeah, they were working as hard as they could on this problem and it still sucks.
It's getting worse all the time. That's gotten better. We're bringing prices down. We're going to control price gouging.
Frank, thank you. In order to answer that question, I need to first explain to you why you think you need to ask me a question. Indeed, that would be the kind of shit they would say. Anyway, so no answer here.
Care.
So it makes me want to ask you, do you think that Biden's done everything right?
Well, look, I don't know if any of us do everything right, but I can tell you he's done everything in the best interest of the American public.
Like letting all those illegal immigrants in?
Yeah.
Or giving a bunch of money to terrorist groups like Iran and Lebanon, and giving aid and comfort to Hezbollah. Yeah, that's really in the best interest of the American people, huh? Yeah. Unvetted criminals wandering over our border, giving money to terrorists. Yeah, that doesn't seem at all like you're the enemy of the country.
Thank you, Old Buddha of Wisdom, for the donation with no message. Appreciate it. Thank you. His follow-up here shouldn't have been, that makes me ask, or makes me wonder, do you think Biden did everything right? His follow-up should have been, what would you do different? Anything? Because Kamala didn't talk about how she still had the same values. She said she wouldn't do anything different. And the question was, what would you do different?
Well, I'd go back to my middle-class roots and carefully study the areas I grew up in and the Puerto Rican politics that Biden taught me.
It is so goddamn frustrating how they won't answer anything.
Oh, yeah. There's absolutely nothing about their policy in anything they've said.
The only answer that they've given that was a direct answer was, would you change anything? And she said, I can't think of anything. And they've spent the last week trying to explain why that's not exactly true. The one time she gives a direct answer and it's, no, we didn't mean that. No, she totally would have fixed everything. Dangerous, thank you. The guy who wanted to close the border, create a COVID task force while being impeached, and brought it up during the State of the Union, downplayed COVID, but not the party of hug a Chinese person. Hate these people. Yeah.
Right.
Nancy Pelosi, because Donald Trump was closing the border with China, went to Chinatown in San Francisco and come hang out with the Chinese people.
It's so frustrating to hear that too, because their restraining order clearly states I'm supposed to be 500 yards from all of Chinatown.
Is that in every city? Because there's Chinatowns in a lot of cities.
That's most of them I could find.
Okay.
Just saying.
He's listened to what the public get. He's asked for answers, and I think, and reevaluated afterwards. And I think if your values and the judgments you're making and the ethical decisions you're making, he's done that. And I, again, have seen.
I think if the values you're making and the decisions you're making, and I think he's done that. That's not a complete sentence. That's not a complete thought.
No, it's jibba jabba. Jibba jabba? Jibba jabba. That's all he does. He just jibber jabbers. That's all these guys are capable of. They just say things. There's no coherency to this. They're just words. I'm telling you, these people are space aliens using some kind of translation device that doesn't work right.
Suffers, thank you. Timmy Boy here makes me want to see Senators John Kennedy and Josh Hawley run for office. I don't know how this guy was ever elected in the first place. This guy's an idiot. That last sentence here. Try to find the subject and the predicate and all of the shit of the parts of a sentence that make it coherent in this.
Think, and reevaluate it afterwards. And I think if your values and the judgments you're making and the ethical decisions you're making, he's done that. And
I think there should be a then statement if you have an if statement, dummy. He needs just simple programming classes so he can understand if then statement. I think if, and he's done that. That's not a then statement, dude. You should say, I think if you did it morally and you did it with your conviction, you might have made a mistake, but you were doing it with the best of intentions. That's your then statement. You can't just go, if you're gonna do values, and he did that. That's not wasn't he a teacher? Supposedly, yeah. He went and taught Chinese kids for some reason. Apparently, we wanted to show them how retarded our kids are and why it happens.
Yeah, like, oh man, this guy is so fucking.
I would like to personally apologize to the Chinese people for us giving you this.
Yeah, maybe this is why they hate us.
I'd fucking hate the shit out of us if this. Hey, they brought in that retard to teach our kids. These are Asian kids, and you're sending Walz over there?
I'm just a big goofy knucklehead. I could be a real knucklehead sometimes, but I lie through my teeth and give non-answers. I'm just a silly boy.
Did they just want to help the self-esteem of the kindergartners? Like, look, you're smarter than this guy.
Probably. They're like, this is the enemy. Listen to the way he speaks. And he just jabbers
Jesus.
on. And they're like, that is what we fight.
I don't know that Walz could answer a question.
I don't know. I would hate to work for this guy because he would tell you to do something and you have no fucking idea what he said. Like, I don't know what that was. What am I supposed to do?
Thank you, John Fetterman. I don't know, Monk. I think Walz is making a significant lump of sense. I can see how he got, that popped off my screen right before the punchline. Sometimes I hate that. I can see how he got fortified. I don't even know how to say that word. Except for there's an L in there.
I think that's just typing error.
It might be.
Look,
thank you for the donation.
Even John Fetterman got better.
Yeah.
Like, he had a stroke. He at least had an excuse. What's this retard's excuse?
I still think Fetterman he's put himself in so much danger.
He's gone against the narrative on the Jewish front.
I know he has.
That's very dangerous in the lefty community.
I meant medically.
Oh, medically? Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The ramification. I still say he had a second stroke.
Oh, there's no doubt he did.
Yeah.
He did not go He did not go into the hospital for depression. He had another stroke.
I absolutely believe that. And that's why he disappeared for months, because I think that was the wake-up call that said, all right, no more. But no, I'm glad he got better. Because he's at least correct on Israel for the most part.
I have been look, I don't think highly of liberals anyway. You have to be retarded to embrace communism and socialism. You just do.
Yeah. And envious. Yeah.
But it is amazing how do I put this? They've even blown away my expectations for how stupid they are with Kamala and Walz.
Yeah, it's impressive. I'm serious. If you're making Fetterman with a stroke look good, dude, what the hell are you idiots doing?
It's amazing listening to them try to answer questions. And anyway, did you see her with the little crying anchor baby?
No, I missed that.
She was on Univision and got busted with teleprompter.
I saw that.
Well, at one point, this woman gets up and says that her mom recently died. And, well, she's a citizen. Her parents aren't. And she was only able to get her dad to be a citizen. And she never managed to get her mom to be a citizen. And so she was in the shadows and couldn't get the help she needed, which is weird because, yeah, you can.
Yeah. Doctors don't care.
Yeah. And Kamala's answer to her is, I'm sure your mom is very proud of you. I can tell how strong you are because of your mom.
Yeah,
Like,
I did see that.
for fucking real?
Yeah, how about we deport your mom and you because you got here under false pretenses? Your citizenship should be null and void because you were just an anchor baby and you were conceived here as a way to get your parents legal, and that is fraud.
Yep. Her dad, if they are illegals, he should not have been able to get to the head of the line. He should have left the country.
Yep, get their fingerprints,
apply for-
DNA, and never let them be citizens. If they set foot on American soil again, 10 years in jail.
Yeah, anybody who's come across illegally should not be eligible for citizenship until nobody else wants to be a citizen.
Yep, which will be never.
Right. Anyway, back to Mumbles.
Again, have seen the difference that it made, especially during the COVID pandemic, of what it looks like to have that ethical, visionary leadership versus someone who's incredibly self-centered.
I want to go back to something you said on Tuesday.
I just want to remind you that he's been asked 2 questions and hasn't answered either of them. All right. Now, this is the one that really got me, Jack, because this is probably the greatest moment of this whole thing. And if you thought he was talking gibberish before, hold on to your socks, folks.
That ethical, visionary leadership versus someone who's incredibly self-centered.
I want to go back to something you said on Tuesday. You said, I think all of us know the Electoral College needs to go. But the campaign came out later that night, and they said that's not their stance.
Well, it's not the campaign's position. And the point I'm trying to make is that there's folks that feel every vote must count in every state. And I think some of folks feel that's not the case. Our campaign does.
Okay, stop. You said it needed to go. You didn't say other people think it needs to go. He won't even take credit for his own thought.
Nope. Because he found out that that's not their official stance. They're like, whoa, no.
That. And the point I'm saying is, I'm in 5 states in 2 days. We're out there making the case that the campaign's position is clear, that that's not their position. Their position and my position is to make sure that everybody understands their vote, no matter what state they're in, matters.
So that
my position's not their position. Their position is that I'm in 5 states and everybody needs to know their vote counts. Position. Did I say position yet?
I can word this a little better than you just did. My position is that's my position. The campaign's position and my position is that everybody's vote counts.
It's just verbal diarrhea, man.
Yeah, but he's just a big goofy knucklehead.
It is not word salad. That is giving it way too much credit. It is just verbal diarrhea. There is just shit flowing out of his mouth with nuts and corn in it. And not the good corn either, Jack. The unsweet corn, that nasty shit. It's anyway.
Feed corn.
That's something that you and Vice President Harris disagree on?
I have spoken about it in the past, that she's been very clear on this, and the campaign, and my position is the campaign's position.
That's your position is not the campaign's position. You specifically said you want to get rid of the Electoral College, and they said they don't want to do that. So either they're lying or you're lying. Which one is it?
Thank you. The end is high. Kamala's town hall audience supplied by fans on cue. The audience. I don't even want to get into that. What do you think the chances are that a random audience member just happened to have an illegal mom who died 3 weeks ago? Yeah.
Astronomically unrealistic.
Anyway, I want you guys to listen to this again.
In the past, that she's been very clear on this, and the campaign, and my position is the campaign's position.
The campaign's position and my position is the campaign's position. So were you wrong before? Look, I get it. Here's the thing. As the vice president, you're allowed to disagree with the president. In fact, it's probably a good thing if you do from time to time. Do you remember when they asked J.D. Vance at the debate, how can we be sure that you'll actually stand up for what you believe if you guys are elected. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Because the assumption there was that he was just going to ask his to Trump and he wouldn't stand up to him if he thought something was wrong. Right here, you have Walz doing exactly what they were accusing Vance of doing in the future. And nobody said shit.
I mean, why would they? It's their team.
There's not a single headline out there from a major legacy media source saying Tim Walz says he will not question the president if he disagrees with her.
Yeah, he flip-flopped very blatantly here.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he specifically said they need to end the Electoral College. Now he's saying that the position of the campaign is also his position. That's a contradiction very clearly, and he said it a couple times now. And look at that stupid fucking face he's making. Like, I'm in trouble.
This is the Democrats' idea of manliness. The woman said no, so you're not allowed to have a position of your own. I mean, it's absolutely asinine.
And argue with a woman of color?
How dare you? That would be, Barack just told us that would show that you hate women.
You hate women and you're a racist.
This is a play. Hey, Timmy, how the fuck were you in the military so long? This is a place where, as a man, you go, look, I disagree with them on that, but she will be the president, so that's what's important.
Can you imagine serving under this guy? I think his group lucked out when he bailed on them, quite honestly.
Oh, true. 100%.
Can you imagine taking orders from this guy when there's a war going on?
Oh, God, no.
Oh, my God. This is what, like, the situation hypothetically, not actually, but hypothetically, in Vietnam when they had incompetent officers, sometimes they were subject to friendly fire.
Well, it just reminds me of the beginning of Band of Brothers, the David Schwimmer character.
Mm-hmm.
When he's doing the drilling and everything, it's fine, but they get out into the field. They're not even in fire yet. This is just practicing, and he can't read a fucking map, and he gets them all lost.
Oh, yeah.
That's Timmy.
Yeah. Like, he fucked his unit over by quitting, but I'm just saying, it might have been a good thing and might have saved some lives.
See, we need to phrase that differently. He did the best thing for his unit for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was very self-serving of him to do it, but I just think that this is the type of guy that'll get people killed in combat.
Yeah, he didn't do it because he realized that he was not up to the task. He did it because he's a coward.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. It might have turned out the best for his unit, but not because he was doing it because it was best for his unit.
Oh, no, he's not the type of person that does the best for anybody but himself.
No, he's an asshole. Anyway.
And let's talk about the economy. That is the top issue for voters out there. 74% of voters said the past year they've had to cut back on groceries because of the rising costs, of course. And a lot of those voters, they're concerned that they cast their vote for Kamala Harris, but she's responsible for that. Yeah. So how do you reach those voters? What do you say to those voters who may blame her for the economy right now?
Folks. All right. Let's just reiterate the question because he's not going to answer it. How do you reach the voters who think Kamala is responsible for the bad economy? It's a pretty simple question. Strahan took a little while to get there. I can't, other than him not forcing the follow-up, I can't really blame him for his questions.
That's actually a good question.
Yeah. He's asked some decent questions here. Again, this is an NFL player who's doing better than the college educated, I went there for journalism career network folks. And our concussion friend here is doing a better job than most of them.
Folks in the middle, what we talked to them about, what are the policies that are going to make a difference? And we see some of the data, but data doesn't impact people in their daily lives. Going to the grocery store and you see false information, whether it's bird flu impacting eggs. But the reality for most people is if those costs are up, they want to know what you're going to do about it. I think that's why she's focusing on making sure whether it's home ownership more affordable, tax cuts for them.
Have you noticed so far he's not, usually a vice president will talk about we. we are going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, this is why I think I almost feel like he's trying to separate himself from Kamala.
I don't think he's that smart. I think he's just like, she's so magnanimous because she's a woman. So I don't want to step in her way and take credit for a woman.
He was a really good player. Oh, Strahan was great. Absolutely. He's an NFL legend, man.
Middle class. And let's just be candid about this. There's price gouging piece of this.
And something that
The price gouging that even liberals have said is bullshit.
Yep.
That one. Notice again, though, he didn't answer the question at all. The question was, how do you reach these people who think she's responsible? I think this is why she's did you hear about price gouging?
She's the bestest woman ever. I love her. She's like my mommy. She's the country's mommy. I'm just a big goofy knucklehead.
He tried pulling the economy's doing well and people just aren't paying attention to it bullshit.
Yeah.
That was the data doesn't matter to the people at the register. Yeah, because the data you guys are giving is highly massaged.
Massaged is a nice way of saying it.
That data is so well massaged that it's had a happy ending, okay? The reason people aren't buying that bullshit is because they are the ones who are paying the grocery bills, you fucking retard. And just chanting price gouging when you can go and see what grocers are actually making for profit. They'll point to something like, oh, look how much money Walmart made. Walmart's profit doesn't come largely from their... Do you know where Walmart's profit mostly comes from?
What, service sector? Like the automotive stuff?
Clothing.
Clothing?
The
That makes sense.
markup on clothing is ridiculous. That is where the majority of their profit comes from, is their clothing. So that's why they can sell something, on clearance for $1 and like, what a deal. And they paid 10 cents for it.
Yeah, they're still making money on it.
Yeah. And if you guys work at Walmart and you question me on that, take your tells on or whatever the hell you guys have, those handhelds. I don't know what you guys call them now. And go scan a full priced t-shirt. Just go see how much it costs. Frank, thank you so much. As a Giants fan, seeing the gap tooth wonder be so weak hurts. Again, I don't blame Strahan for this. I wish he was pushing more. I wish he would push for a follow-up, but he's asking good questions.
Yeah, and he's not used to actually doing real interviews. He does like the Good Morning America shit where it's all, fluffy nonsense that nobody will ever care about except wine moms. He doesn't do hard-hitting journalism, and this is way beyond anything he's ever done.
And he's still asking better questions than most of the media has so far.
Absolutely. I'm going to give him a lot of credit for this. I think he's trying really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Former President Trump said something that within your debate they were saying that, hey, these are policies that Kamala Harris could have done 3 years ago when she was in the White House with President Biden, and she never did. What do you say to people who bring that up?
Well, Donald Trump had 4 years to do it. If you're going to talk,
why didn't Kamala change the things that she says need changed in the last 3 years? Donald Trump had 4 years.
Look at that pause game.
What the fuck does that have to do with the price of tea in China?
Absolutely nothing. Donald Trump did his economic policies. Kamala hasn't done hers.
Yeah, he just said that Donald Trump had 4 years to do Kamala's policies?
No, Donald Trump had 4 years to fix everything, and he made it worse because he's orange man. He's bad.
Look, that's what he was trying to say, but that's not what he said. And I've actually had several arguments with retards on Twitter in the last day and a half where liberals keep doing this. I saw one guy who said Kamala Harris could come out and promise people free bacon and gas for a year, and they'd still vote for Trump because it's not about prices, it's about racism. And on its surface, that sounds like it's meaning, oh my God, you're right. They would be like, oh, I'm not taking that free bacon for a year. Apparently, the guy doesn't like Muslims.
Apparently.
Okay. Can we think of a reason that a president who serves for 4 years giving you free bacon and gas for 1 year wouldn't be enough to make you vote for him?
My intellectual deduction would be the other 3 years.
Ding, ding, ding.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
It's almost like a president serving for 3 years with massive inflation wouldn't be offset by just that first year.
Huh. Oh, thank you, Keldrick. They didn't just massage the data, they brought it to the chiropractor. Yeah, no doubt. Same with the jobs numbers.
Yeah, they've massaged the shit out of it to the point I have never seen a full year. When I followed the BLS for a long time, Jack. Never seen them have to go at the end of a fiscal year. Yeah, we fucked up our projections so badly that the 2 revisions we give each of these numbers wasn't enough, and we have to down the whole thing by 1 million. I have never seen that. That is fucking insane.
Hey, they rewrote the definition for recession specifically for Biden. So,
yes, they did.
All rules are tossed out the window because they will flex and break whatever rules they have to make it look good for them.
And they actually kind of fucked that up because if they would have just admitted it was a recession, it was over quickly. The negative growth was only a very short time.
Yeah.
And they came out, they could have been like, look, we fixed it immediately. And instead they shot themselves in the foot by going, that never happened.
Yeah, because you can't trust anything they say ever again.
No. All right. Babbles here was asked why Kamala didn't do stuff, why she didn't implement her stuff. And Dummy here just told us Trump was president for 4 years, which is technically true, I suppose, Jack. So at least he didn't lie.
Yeah.
Talk about that. And what the point is, you need a partner in Congress. You've seen these. We've seen different bills that are ready to pass. And
that's also not a good answer. If you need partners in Congress and you have bills ready to pass and they haven't been able to get it done, what's going to change with Kamala getting elected? Anything? They don't think before they speak.
No, they just throw words out.
The lack of logic in our country is staggering.
Well, we have a really dumb population that knows more phony genders than they do how the civics function in our country.
Well, go back to the video we watched about Barack. How did he open the part that we were watching about? He was talking about feelings. You guys may feel that you can't have a woman president. Not think, because God forbid anybody think.
No,
everything's about feels.
You're not allowed to think, dude. That's how you get canceled.
And Donald Trump makes sure he steps in. We saw it around immigration, a bipartisan bill, widely respected.
It wasn't widely respected. It was going to fail in the House. What can you point to a bill that Donald Trump killed that was a Kamala plan for the economy?
I think they're trying to take credit for that border bill. And Donald Trump came in out of nowhere. He swooped in, landed in Congress, and was like, no, and snatched the original away.
No, I get that that's what he's doing, but that wasn't any economic plan, which is the topic here. If he could point to one where Donald Trump stepped in when the Democrats had got a bill, by the way, that they only need 50 plus 1 to pass in the Senate. If they could point to one where Donald Trump stepped in and went, no, don't do that. A shitty economy helps me in the election, then fine. But that's not what happened even in their bullshit telling. That was a completely different bill.
That's a lot of hatred in your facts. Look, Trump was out of power anyway. He has no real say in anything.
Anyhow, back to this stupid ass answer.
wanting to make a difference in this, holding true to our values, securing the border. Donald Trump steps in and says, look, that's going to hurt my political future. Let's not make it happen.
Let's talk about your record.
There was an abrupt cut there, and I want to know what was taken out.
Same thing with the 60 Minutes and Kamala. I want to see the entire uncut videos.
Well, the Democrats have gone out there and like, all they did was shorten the answer that she gave. That is not true. That one part, I pointed it out at the time that it wasn't even the answer she gave.
Yep.
The one that everybody's talking about. Somebody should be fired at CBS for that. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, she goes on to CBS. Before the 60 Minutes interview, they post a clip. And it is a clip of him asking about Netanyahu and not doing what the U.S. wants. And they show an answer. And then when they actually put it on television, there was a completely different answer there. Completely different. It did not even come from that answer.
Seems to me that's some sort of meddling in an election.
Meanwhile, the fucking idiots at CBS, they're not upset about that. No. They actually had a struggle session because the white guy that does their morning show with Gayle King had the nerve to question Ta-Nehisi Coates about his bullshit anti-Israel book.
Yep.
They had a struggle session, y'all. And they were going to bring in an expert to sit down with everybody and talk about it. This expert who has openly anti-Trumpian shit on his Instagram, who posted a picture. Who's the oh shit, I forget which black guy it was. But he posted a picture of a conservative black guy as Uncle Tom. Yeah. And that's who they were going to bring in because this guy had the nerve to question Ta-Nehisi Coates, who wrote a book purely just Palestinian propaganda. And when asked about how come he didn't bring up any of the bullshit that the Gazans and Hamas have done, his answer was, I think there's enough of that in the press. They had to have a full struggle session for this. Go ahead. I'm sorry, bud.
Did you see the question he was asked about whether or not he'd join a...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
We'll get to that if we have time.
Okay,
Ta-Nehisi Coates is a fucking racist.
Oh, yeah. He does not like white people. This is the same guy that in one of his first books said that when he saw the buildings collapse on 9/11, he felt pride or something like that. He felt good about it.
I do not know how this asshole has a career. He has no charisma.
No, he's not a good speaker. And he really hates white people, which is why he has a career, I think.
I would have quit. I'm not doing a gaslighting session. I wish we had time to go over it because the audio leaked from it. They had this is true. They had a Zoom meeting and somebody recorded it and leaked it. So they banned Zoom meetings there at CBS. Shocking.
Yeah.
We can't have people know what's going on.
How dare you? So communistic.
Isn't the New York Times' tagline, truth dies in darkness?
I believe so. But, they're okay with that because they don't believe in the truth. They care in their truth.
If we don't get to it, and I doubt we will, I do recommend Megyn Kelly's take on it. She shows quite a bit of it, or just go out and find the original stuff. Tea drinking witness, thank you. Sorry, you do still have a president, don't you? Or has your country forgotten? Well, nobody has the balls to kick him out like they should. So you're technically correct. We have a president, but we all know he's not worth anything. And I don't mean that as he's a worthless human. I mean, he doesn't have the brain cells to figure out how to pour cereal.
Yeah, it's really tragic, but that man should not be in office at all.
Sorry. Democracy dies in darkness is their catchphrase. Thank you, Dangerous. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jack.
Thank you, Evolved Potato. Speaking about meddling in an election, did you guys see Trump had to cancel an event and do a smaller one with just journalists because the Secret Service aren't giving him enough security. Yeah, that leaked out a couple days ago. That a lot of the stuff they've been requesting is actually still getting denied.
Well, I mean, you can't give him all the security he wants and get a CIA asset in there. It'll make everybody look bad.
It's too hard, coordinating all that.
Yeah.
They really, nope, I'm not gonna say anything. But yeah, I think this is intentional.
We have a would-be assassin in custody and nobody's talking about him.
Nope, they want this swept under the rug, and then he'll quietly get stabbed to death and suicided in jail, probably around the same time Diddy does. Maybe they get a 3-for-1.
Hey, nerds, Kamala led a WoW raid. Yeah. Don't make me pissed off about that again. They didn't even play it themselves. Fucking,
so lazy.
And you call yourself a knucklehead. Call yourself a knucklehead because you've made some statements that just aren't true. And the comment about what
I love him for the way he said that.
Yeah, I think he should have been like, for being a big fat fucking liar. But, I'm not the one conducting the interview.
You've made statements that just aren't true. That's factual.
weapon of war that I carried in war, which you didn't. You said that you were in Hong Kong during the Tiananmen Square massacre when you weren't. You kind of chalked it all up to bad grammar or getting the.
No, he didn't kind of. He totally chalked that part up to bad grammar.
Dates wrong.
Yeah.
But your opponents say you lied to make yourself look better.
True.
Do they have a point?
Well, look, 35 years ago, got the opportunity to be in Hong Kong, be in China, learned a lot about it, served 24 years in the National Guard, passionately in an instance talking about gun violence in schools, on an instance there, proud of the service that I've done, proud to be a teacher in that classroom, proud to have been very public all these years and owning it when I, said, look, I was there in August of '89.
All right. I want to address this because it's not something I've seen anybody talk about, and it is important. If Kamala wins, Jack, this guy is a heartbeat away from the presidency. Something happens to her, she chokes on a pubic hair, he becomes, I'm going to keep making that joke because I think it's funny. He becomes president. Do we want a guy that passionately says stupid shit talking to foreign leaders?
Don't we already have that right now?
Matt, how many times has the White House had to come out and clarify shit that Biden said because he almost caused an international incident?
Several times.
Now imagine this fucking retard speaking to Putin and being like, I'm going to bomb the shit out of you. And I misspoke. It was bad grammar.
I have a feeling the only thing this clown would do is capitulate to China.
Oh, I have no doubt.
He has a lot of ties to the CCP. So,
but I can also see him accidentally, if he says, I carried weapons into war, a war he never went into.
Yeah.
And that was just him being passionate. And he's going to go talk to a foreign leader. What's going to happen when he's passionately talking to them and says the wrong fucking thing?
Well, he'll just be like, look, I'm just a knucklehead. I'm a big goofy doofus. Half Vermont.
I am passionate and it makes me say lies is not a good answer.
No, that's a terrible one. That's why Biden dropped out in the 80s. That's
a disqualifying answer. I get passionate and stupid. No. Why is this an acceptable answer?
It's not, and also it's another lie. I think he did those statements intentionally.
Yes,
and they were pre-planned. He is not just an accidental, passionate liar. He's just a liar.
It would be a better answer to say, yeah, I was trying to get clout that I didn't deserve. It's an honest answer, and it makes you look like a liar, but at least it doesn't make you look like a possible threat, because remember, even as vice president, he will be sent on diplomatic missions.
Yeah.
They send him to little countries and be like, go do something. This motherfucker is going to start a war on accident.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. And he looks like a psycho. Like, what kind of sociopath doesn't give a shit about the consequences of the words they say when they're a public figure like that? This
Hey,
is somebody
Jack.
that sets policy and helps
Hey,
with laws.
people know who he is.
No, they don't. Well,
People
yeah,
know
he's a
who he
big
is.
fucking liar, but oh, they know me. They know I'm just a big knucklehead. I'm a big silly guy.
They've done this repeatedly. It's kind of like their thing where Kamala tried to get they worked on fixing inflation and couldn't. They keep giving worse answers than if they were just honest. As bad as the honest answer is.
Well, that's because Kamala is so brat.
God bless, man. All right.
And I think what you see here, you saw it in Minnesota, been elected 8 times here. These things have been very public for folks here. They see the results of things that we pass. We see a state that's a top 5 state for business. We see
He loves that state for top 5, but fuck off with that nonsense. What does that have to do with you being a lying shitbag?
Yeah.
3rd best state, top 3 state for raising a child, and we've got the best healthcare. And I think the policies, whether it be dealing with China and understanding China's human rights record, what you can be certain there is that Kamala Harris and I aren't going to, pick dictators on speed dial. See, Xi Jinping is doing a good job during COVID, as Donald Trump said. And I think those.
Well, if we go with the official numbers, Xi Jinping did way better than we did with COVID. I'm just saying, Jack, 98,000 was their top.
Yeah, well, that's what they told us anyway.
Yeah.
But isn't this guy someone who has a lot of connections to various sources in the CCP through the schooling and stuff that he was doing over the course of 15 visits?
Are you suggesting the guy who's bragged about how much time he spent in China over the last 30 years might have connections to the CCP?
Yes. Also, because socialism is just another way of saying neighborliness.
You think the guy that was let into the communist education system didn't get there just by a wing and a prayer? It had actually something to do with official Chinese government business?
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying that they tend to do a lot of heavy vetting, and only certain types of people get in. So, you could go teach English over there, but they're going to look at you and say, is this the type of person we might be able to manipulate?
And certainly somebody who's not, there is no fucking way in the last 30 years when he's been going over there to teach in China that he was telling the kids how oppressive their government was.
Yeah, and it's against the law to bring up Tiananmen Square, so no, he didn't make that brag.
Yeah, this pussy-ass motherfucker didn't say shit to him when he was standing there.
Yeah.
Anyway, we won't have Xi Jinping on speed dial. I have his number 2.
They'll have us on speed dial so we can obey immediately.
It's just amazing to me the way they try to explain their stuff away.
They're so bad at it.
How do you brag about 30 years of teaching in China and be like, we will not be working with the Chinese like that?
We don't capitulate to China except when I'm over there teaching their kids the communist way that they want, the Mao Zedong way. I guarantee you this dude's got a well-used copy of the Little Red Book.
Oh, I have no doubt. Thank you, Michelle. I don't believe that vengeance would be healthy for the country. However, I do think that there needs to be accountability for what they've done to the border. I refuse to believe that it was done with any other reason than to destroy the country. Prison. Well, here's the thing. You're not wrong. But in their mind, they're not destroying the country. They're doing it for the right reason. They're doing it for the greater good.
Which is terrifying. Moral busybodies are the most dangerous people on earth.
They're retarded because they think they can control the monster that they create.
And it has never happened in the history of ever that the person creating the monster ends up controlling it.
Nope.
It's never happened. Your great communist revolution, you know what they did with the communist revolutionaries? They shot them.
Yep. All right.
Those lessons learned over a lifetime of being very public, whether it's in the classroom or being elected.
Well, you know, but it's one of the things with trust. So there are going to be some people who say we can't trust him even tell the truth about himself.
Yeah.
What do you say to them?
Well, I said they know who I am. I know who I am. I know.
They know who I am. I'm a big Gofei knucklehead. Ha ha ha.
Thank you, James Jones. The planet's tombstone will read knucklehead. Yes.
Yeah. They know who I am. He says it enough, maybe people believe it. Oh, well, I know him.
It's not an answer. What do you say to people who say you can't be trusted? They know who I am. And those are the people saying you can't be trusted, asshole.
Yeah. No, most people don't know who you are. Stop saying that. Get a better line.
It's another one where the answer is worse than just being honest and going, yeah, I have lied a few times and I shouldn't have, and I'm working on that. No. His answer is, they call you a liar. They know who I am. You have no idea what you just said, do you? Yes, backscan, exactly. He is saying they're right. 100%. And dumbass here doesn't get that. This is what happens when feelings trump logic. We get people like this.
Yeah.
Because every one of his answers has been fucking horrible. Forget that they don't even answer the question, Jack. They're fucking horrible.
They're so horribly. You can come up with creative ways to dodge a question. He has done none of that. This man should be wearing a helmet. I don't like him. He looks smelly, and I don't trust him around children. But real quickly, thank you, Evolved Potato. The Biden-Harris administration, literally, not figuratively, literally, had their people bowing down to the CCP. Having a hostile superpower on speed dial is a good policy. We used to have a direct line to Moscow, the red phone, to avoid nuclear exchange by accident after a little whoopsie-doopsie, where thankfully some Russian general was like, let's just wait.
Yep.
If that guy hadn't, paused, we would have probably done a nuclear exchange.
We absolutely would have done a nuclear exchange.
Yeah, and having a direct communication between the president and somebody like the CCP is probably a good idea, yes. But I think Tim Walz is probably heavily influenced by the Chinese propaganda. I think he's compromised, and he's a liar. And it shows in his lies, it shows that he will lie about innocuous stuff. Why won't he lie about important things, like his ties to the CCP?
Several backed up here. Let me get these real fast. Dangerous, thank you. A top 3 state for raising a child, as long as the child's not in the womb or feels slightly uncomfortable in their body as a teen. And top 5 only for the businesses that didn't burn down in 2020. Fair. Thank you, Keldrig. And you're proud of that, Tim? You're proud that people know you're a liar? Brilliant. He doesn't understand what he just said there, Keldrick. NCMEC, thank you so much. We know who Walz is. And thank you, Bullwinkle. Democrats vote for Democrats because they are Democrats. They don't actually care about issues. I don't know why they spend money on ads. All political ads are aimed at the center. They are aimed at independents. They are not aimed at the left or the right. Or let me rephrase that. All good ads that is the goal, because you already have your side. But your point is taken. Yeah, I love that Kamala's talking so much about values like they matter to the left. Severus, thank you so much. Tim would try to pass the common good laws. I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, I'm just shocked he hasn't actually used the term common good yet.
Yeah, and nobody's asked him about his stance on taking trans kids away from their parents like they do in his state. Because he signed that shit. Frosted, that's one.
That should have been one of the questions at the debate, and it never comes up.
Nope. Just like his ties to the CCP never come up. Like, how did you get over to China to teach so many times without making connections in the CCP?
Yeah, Frosted said, we know who Walz is. NAMBLA, probably. Indeed. North American Marlon Brando Lookalike Association.
Sure. Let's go with that one.
That's a South Park joke.
Yes.
Have you ever seen the South Park NAMBLA episode? It's one of my favorites.
Oh, Dude, I'm shocked they got away with it back then. They definitely won't be able to pull that off now.
I just love the end of it where the NAMBLA guy's giving that impassioned speech and Kyle's just like, dude, you have sex with children. I feel like that needs to be shown on a loop to Democrats right now.
Yeah.
Anyhow, back to you know who I am. They're right. I'm a fucking liar.
The work that I've done. I know that things get spun in a political environment, but I think
Calling you a liar because you lied is not spinning anything.
Yes, it is. It's obviously for politics. They're just doing that because they're a bunch of poopy heads that are mean to me.
What the fuck is he? I know things get spun when I tell lies and people, tell the truth about it.
Doug Imhoff said something very similar to when the domestic allegations came up.
Yes. Yeah, they're just spinning that I beat that woman. I did warn Kamala tonight because she seems very obsessed with Trump that Doug does not like his women spending too much time, giving too much attention to another man. So
that's true. And he talked to Mr. Joe Scarborough.
Yeah.
About domestic violence. It's just a distraction.
That state, I hadn't even put that together. Doug Imhoff, who's accused of beating a woman, sat down and talked with Joe Scarborough, who just happened to have a woman die in his office. He totally wasn't there, guys.
Totally not.
Not there. The Corleones made sure.
Nothing to see here.
That's a Godfather 2 reference. Anyway.
I think what they see is if they want to compare that talking about immigration policy or seeing the things that Donald Trump would say, I think there's a big difference than missing a date when you're there. And again, spinning something for a political reason. I'm very clear.
You didn't miss a date. You said you were there in June of that year, which would put you there during the Tiananmen event. I don't want to upset the Chinese overlords.
I think it's more egregious that he's ignoring the carried weapons into war part.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's just a misstatement.
And it's stolen
that was
valor?
bad grammar.
No, it was
bad grammar. Bad grammar.
I'm just a goofy knucklehead.
He forgot a comma. What he actually said was, I carried weapons of war, comma, war, or into, comma, war. It was just bad grammar. Love the breakdown. Others be glossing over. It amazes me that more people don't catch on to this. And part of the problem is it's very easy to get distracted by the stupid.
Yeah, because he is really stupid.
Yeah, but if you pay attention to what he's saying, it is so much worse than what he's saying.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Of who I've been. I'm very proud of 24 years of doing that work. And I think going to Congress and working for veterans, they want to see it and make the difference, look a little different. I think people in Minnesota, my students, the folks I've worked with, members of Congress, they know who I am. And they know the policies we put in place have made an impact. And
the people think you're a liar. People in Congress think I don't lie. That's not the win you think it is, homie.
No, none of us, 90% of the country doesn't know any of those assholes. So how are we supposed to think of you other than what you've said, which are a lot of lies?
It worries me that this guy was in the U.S. education system.
Well, it says a lot about the U.S. education system and how bad it is. And it's just been bad for a lot longer.
Given his flamboyant nature, I'm not shocked by it, but
yeah.
And Vice President Harris said that she told you to be a little bit more careful on how you say things.
Well, actually, Kamala said that. I don't know if we've actually gotten audio or an official statement from her saying that. He said she said that.
Well, I did it, even the other day of just speaking passionately about these gun violence situations and meeting with these survivors. I've sat in the room with the Sandy Hook folks, a friend with David Hogg, who's been an activist on this.
That's right. He's friends with David Hogg. Says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. But he's
Now-
friends with school shooters too.
But see, that's the thing that he's getting at here is the friends with school shooters thing. And that's not actually the bad part of what happened in that whole conversation. The actual part that is relevant to what we're talking about here is where he lied about his son seeing somebody get their head blown off.
Yep.
Because he did lie about that. Yeah, he had the stupid ass misstatement where he said he's friends with school shooters, and it's a great meme. But he lied and put trauma on his child to gain clout from seeing somebody get shot. The kid did live, Jack. He's just brain damaged now because he got shot in the head. But he fucking lied there, and he wasn't being passionate. He just fucking lied.
Yeah, his son was like in the building, right? But
Yes, his
actually
son was
see it.
No, he did not actually witness it.
Yeah.
And how do we know that? Because we have the reports at the time, and not one of them says the governor's son watched the shooting. And in fact, Walz had never said that his son witnessed the shooting until the debate. And he did not get fact checked on that, Jack.
No, why would he? Like, he was challenging people to push up contests afterward.
Oh, yeah.
He said dumber Biden, which is pretty impressive. Real fast though.
He's Biden without the dementia excuse.
Yeah. Which is sad because I think Biden could probably outsmart him in a debate right now.
This guy is so bad. And I saw somebody talking like look, when all is said and done, nobody's voting for the vice president. And that's fair enough. But she picked him. She picked this idiot. This is a reflection of her.
Yeah.
This is who she thinks would make a good president if she chokes on a pubic hair.
Real fast. Speaking of which, thank you, Kamala's squishy throat. That's gross. I just tried to play Kalinka by the Red Army Choir, and I got an ad block warning because the Soviets were all about the ad revenue 8 to 10 years before Google existed.
Nice.
Where does the money go? Screw YouTube ads.
All right. We got a little bit more of this idiot.
Yes. People know in that, and then that gets spun in that, well, he didn't say something true. It was very clear that I was talking about these veterans, very clear that I wear, my.
Your answer. Okay. I'm going to do it this time without interrupting this part because you have to just pay attention to his thoughts here.
Survivors. I've sat in the room with the Sandy Hook folks. A friend with David Hogg, who's been an activist on this. People know in that, and then that gets spun in that, well, he didn't say something true. It was very clear that I was talking about these veterans, very clear that I wear, my.
He's talking about when he accidentally said he's friends with school shooters, and somehow he gets to, it's clear I was talking about these veterans.
Yeah, I think he's talking two different thoughts there. The first half is about the school shooters, and the second half is about carrying weapons into war.
No, it's not even that.
Oh,
it is an entirely different one, which, by the way, there are a lot of people who have spread misinformation about this, and I've corrected them on it. It is a video going around where he says he was in Afghanistan, and everybody like, see, he said he served in Afghanistan, and that's not what he said. He was actually talking about going over to Afghanistan as a congressman and talking to soldiers.
Oh.
It's not even one that's come up in this interview, and one that nobody ever asks him about.
There had to have been something edited out here.
Maybe
just tarded.
The abrupt edits are harder to find in this one than like the 60 Minutes interview.
Mm-hmm.
But we have seen them, so we know this has been edited. But yeah, that is an entirely different one that he's talking about. And he brings it up out of nowhere. He's in the middle of that answer about that he gave. Strahan didn't ask him about that. And he just starts talking, and he gets to, I said knuckleheaded things the other day, clearly talking about his comment about I'm friends with school shooters. and then brings up this one that literally nobody's talking about in the media. And they shouldn't, because again, it is the people who are pushing that one, you're just wrong. He was talking about going to Afghanistan and talking to the troops there, and he did that. He wasn't in any danger or anything. Michelle, thank you. Do you think that Walz was counting on the media's TDS and was not expecting this subject to come up again? He had plenty of time to come up with a better answer. I get the stupid part, but don't they have advisors? It's a bit of arrogance too. No, I think I saw somebody over. I don't know who the people were that was on Megyn's Kelly show, but they said they think the way that the campaign is running this is that they think she's winning it, and they compared it to football, Jack. If you're up by 7 points and you get the ball back with, say, 2 minutes, you don't try to score. You just protect the ball. You just try to run out the clock. And he said that's what it seems like they're trying to do in this campaign, trying to give very safe answers all the time and not do anything too controversial. And if you look at the way that they're doing it, it really does. Look how boring their answers are, how they dance all around them so that they don't have to actually answer anything.
Mm-hmm.
It really does seem like that's what's going on. And if that is the case, their advisors, you're right about your analysis there, that somebody should be like, hey, you need to have a decent answer for this. But if they think they're winning, the easy answer is just distract from that. And nobody's going to care anyway. Thank you. And again, you have to remember that there is TDS out there, Trump derangement syndrome, for those wondering, in the overall media. So it's not like he's going to get a lot of scrutiny for his bullshit answers here. He's been asked the same thing now by at least 3 different people and hasn't given a straight answer yet. His answer is always, they know me.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, you and I made that joke before we listened to his answer, his actual answer, and he said it.
Yeah, he did the thing.
He did the thing. Dangerous, thank you. Let me explain this, Tim. I witnessed 9/11 as it happened. I don't claim I was in New York witnessing it in person. I saw it on TV in Australia. This isn't about mixing up dates, lying shitbag. Yeah, he lied to try to get clout off the Chinese standing up for themselves.
Yep.
I don't even get what the clout he gets from that is.
I have no idea.
But to tie himself to Tiananmen Square when even if everything were true, he would have been in fucking Hong Kong at the time.
Yeah, he wasn't even in China, like hardcore mainland, like right there where it was happening.
No, he was in Asian Britain, for fuck's sake. Hong Kong was controlled by the British at the time. Anyhow.
Real quick. Thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist donation. Bit of a side thing. Did you see the DOJ is suing Virginia for purging non-citizens from voter rolls too close to the election? Yes, I did.
Yep.
It is really fucked up.
The bad thing is it should have been done beforehand anyway.
Yeah.
All of these states who are purging right now, they should have done it 6 months ago.
Yeah, they just they didn't want to. Hopefully the DOJ doesn't get anywhere with that, because that's a bunch of crap.
They probably will.
Yep.
In a lot of these cases, the DOJ is right, honestly, because state law has requirements for when you can do it and stuff. I don't like it any more than you guys probably do. But that's why Virginia should have done this last year. They should have been doing it all along instead of waiting right up until election time to do it.
It's just one more piece of evidence that the federal government doesn't give a fuck about citizens and they want illegals to vote.
Yep.
So, just remember that. They're actively working against you.
Have you noticed that the press has changed from that never happens to that almost never happens?
Yeah.
Virginia isn't a red state. It is right now. I mean, the governorship and both state houses, if I remember correctly, are all run by Republicans. Virginia is long term a purple state. It bounces back and forth. But after the just total disaster that was the Northup administration, yeah, Virginia was like, yeah, fuck that. We're going to try the Republicans for a while. And Winnie's running for Youngkin's seat. She's already announced that she's going to run for it. They're in the off years, Jack. So in 26.
Oh.
I really like her, and I hope she wins. And it'll be great to see the first Black female elected governor to be a Republican in Virginia. In Virginia, the seat of the Confederate capital.
Yeah.
Run by a Black woman. How great is that? A Black Republican woman.
Oh.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I hope she wins. Anyhow, we got to get back to with this fucking retard.
Emotions on my sleeve. And I do think in these positions, whether it be governor or being vice president of the United States, you do need to be careful. You do need to be a little more thoughtful on it. And
honest. The word is honest, fucker. You need to be more honest.
No, he just has to come up with better lies.
I heard that Tim Pond was at the Fall of Saigon. Tim Pond's been everywhere, man.
And I think what you see is as someone who's been in classrooms a lot, I've been around coaching a lot. I speak passionately, and I think doing that.
Did he just say he lies to his students and athletes?
That's what I got out of that statement, but I don't know. I mean, any guy that says he's a teacher after he's admitted that he's a liar, I'm going to be questioning what's on his hard drive.
Right? Wow. Again, they don't put any thought into it. He thinks he's giving good answers here.
He doesn't need to put any thought into it. The press will spin it that, oh, he's addressed this several times.
You need to combine the two. And I think that's what she's referring to. And
she says, stop lying, you're making us look bad, is what she was referring to.
No, she was like, you need to be more thoughtful. Stop telling these exaggerations.
Can we talk about what's on the screen here for a second? Because I see this so many times in interviews and stuff. Press, listen to me. If you're interviewing somebody, sit down with them and interview. We do not need this walking through a hallway shot that we get so often.
I hate that.
It's stupid. It's supposed to look like you were having a conversation. It's supposed to be more personal. It just looks scripted.
Yeah, it looks like you were walking in a hallway on a TV set.
You spent years as a high school defensive coordinator.
Yes.
Coach, getting the guys together.
Hey, you were right, Jack. Gotta have the athlete talk to coach.
Oh, yeah.
Out there in that field, and you credit that experience as, you say that's something that makes you uniquely positioned to help America go where you feel like it should go. How does that make you uniquely qualified for that?
Well, I think it's about building teams, about bringing diverse folks in, finding where their skills work. I feel like I'm on a championship team with Vice President Harris, but it's that idea of molding, shaping, providing guidance, but understanding that you're just a piece.
As a coach, when you're deciding, as a defensive coordinator specifically, when you're deciding who should be a defensive lineman and who should be a defensive back, do you go by merit or do you go by the color of their skin or any other DEI shit?
That depends. Am I a normal person or am I this knucklehead?
Well, I mean for him. Because what he's doing here is actually making the case for meritocracy and suggesting he's good at picking out who's best for what role. Not based on color, not based on vagina, but based on who's best at that position. And again, this is the kind of stuff that right over their head, I guarantee you Strahan's not going to ask that question. That would have been my first.
Fired.
I would have interrupted him like, wait a minute, did you do this based on DEI or did you pick like the fastest kid to be your free safety. Because that's what you really should do. You want your safeties to be fastest on your team because they got to get to the spot. You put the fat kids on the line. I mean, I'm not wrong, right?
I don't know shit about football, dude. Sorry, I can't help you with this analogy.
Well, you understand sports in general, right?
That's a concept, yeah.
You'd want your best players at the position they should be in, right? You don't want it to be the fat kid trying to run a 440.
Probably not. What's a 440?
The 40-yard dash in 4 seconds.
Am I trying to get him killed with a heart attack?
What was his winning record? I mean, technically he's the defensive coordinator, so nothing. It's the head coach's record, not his.
Yeah, he wasn't even like the real coach. He
No.
was just the coordinator.
And at that level, it's meaningless. You know what he was doing? He was washing probably watching as well, jock straps. Coach said to run, time to run, guys.
Yeah, he was like the fill-in when the coach wasn't there.
Yeah.
This was a high school, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's not a real job.
The players got to play. I always said you've got to put them in a position to be successful. And I think where you see these positions, whether it's governor or vice president, you got to put the American people in a position to be successful, and they'll do it. They'll do it.
And there it is. Michael honestly did a decent job with the questions that he asked. He should have followed up more, but at this point, I think even the press is like, there's no reason to even ask these questions anymore. They're not going to answer them.
Yeah, they're just dodging. And the press is super friendly to them, except CNN, because they're a little pissy. But they're not even giving straight answers to their friendliest allies.
Yeah.
That's pretty insulting. I think the press is going to end up turning on these guys if they don't give them a little bit more of solid answers that they can work with. Because they're out there trying to massage these dumbass responses into like a gotcha against Trump. And you can't do it. They're terrible answers.
The biggest problem, they thought that this was a smart thing to do. And this goes back to the question about, don't they have anybody giving them advice on this stuff? They thought just going on their media blitz was going to be enough. They were getting so much shit for not talking to the press. They were starting to see it in their own polls. And they're like, okay, what we got to do is go out there and talk. And none of them thought about what they did instead was be like, okay, these are your talking points. Get them in. Not go answer the question that you're asked. Get this talking point in. I mean, there were several of those questions. Like the one is about economics, and he switches to Trump and the border bill.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not because he was like, this would be a good time to bring up Trump. It's because this is the talking point he has to get out there. I honestly don't think he could explain the difference between the 4-3, the 3-4, the nickel, and the dime. I would be surprised if he knew those were football terms. 4-3 jack, and these are all defensive setups.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, your nickel's more of your running package, your dime more of a throwing package. Same for the 3-4 and the 4-3. It's just whether or not you have more DBs in, how many linemen you have, how many linebackers you have. 4-3 and 3-4, that's the linemen. And anyway, you don't care about that, so I'm gonna stop explaining.
Nope,
it to
I'm
you.
already tuning out. No offense, but
no, I know. That's why I stopped.
There's shiny coin on my table right here that I'm looking
So
at.
instead, I wanted to bring you something that'll bring you joy in your life, Jack, because I've shown you a lot of Kamala and Tim lately, and I've felt bad about it. So I brought something for you that I thought you would really enjoy. And can you tell the sarcasm in my voice?
Yeah.
Right.
I've been around long enough on this show.
Something I thought you would really enjoy and that would uplift your spirits. And so we are going to watch.
Oh, God damn it. I knew you were going to pull this up.
I told you we were going to watch it. For those of you who are wondering why there's a fat guy feeding chickens on the screen, I think I'll let them speak for themselves, at least until I decide to interrupt and laugh at these fucking clowns. I'm trying to. Oh, the name of this is Typography Nerd. Is the TikTok that this was posted on?
Mhm.
I do not know if they're the original person. Somebody who really likes maps has a fat guy on the screen. Ooh, you think that's a new term that they got to signal to each other that they like kids?
I ruled nothing out at this point.
Huh. Anyway, Chunky's about to speak. Let's hear him.
I'm a man.
I'm a man.
I'm a man, man.
And I'm man enough.
I'm man enough to enjoy a barrel-proof bourbon.
Neat.
Man enough to cook my steak rare.
Man enough to deadlift 500, then braid the out of my daughter's hair.
You think I'm afraid to rebuild a carburetor? I eat carburetors for breakfast.
I think you eat a lot of things for breakfast. And the word
Uh,
carbs is involved.
Yeah, I like that they got the fat guy talking about what he eats for breakfast, and he's so slovenly he'll even eat metal.
Yeah, yeah.
Q, thank you. Maybe we don't have the wider than aspect ratio dude tell us lies about the things he eats.
Yeah. Oh, I want to thank Taylor Dave because she's the one that posted this where I found it. And dear God, painful.
I don't remember who sent this to me. I didn't see it from Taylor. Actually, I haven't seen her in days. I forgot she existed.
Yeah, Taylor or American Barbie, one of the two posted it, and they're both hilarious.
Oh, I love Taylor. She's funny as shit.
Yeah.
I like Barbie too, but she is so focused on the abortion thing that sometimes she even goes a little too far. She once stopped following me because she said something wrong and I corrected her on it, and she does not like to be corrected.
Oh, she doesn't follow me. Probably because I follow her.
Cartography is the study of maps. Yeah, but what is typography?
Topographical maps?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Anyway, what we're watching here is
a fat dude.
No, well, we saw other dudes too.
Really gay looking ones.
It is what liberals think is manly.
Yeah. That dude sitting in the back of the truck with his hands positioned like that. Straight men don't sit like that.
It is just kind of funny to me. And they're about to say, so I actually had to look up what's coming up in a second, Jack, but typography is the map arrangement. Yeah, so it's still map related. Don't make me question myself like that.
They just like the little bumps.
Fuck you. Wow. All right, speaking of little bumps, Titty Man here is talking about eating carburetors.
I'll say little.
I ain't afraid of bears.
That's what bear hugs are for.
Look at that.
I'll tell you another thing I sure as shit am not afraid of. Women.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. The fact that you have to say I'm not afraid of women tells me you're afraid of women. And the way he said it, like, tell you what else I'm not afraid of. Women.
Women. I'm totally not afraid of women.
That guy sitting on the truck, though, every time I saw him, I'm like, no straight man sits that way.
This dude is trying to convince us he's not afraid of women by making a video telling women how much he's on their side.
Yeah, which tells me you're a male feminist, which is even scarier.
Typography is the arranging type/words. Oh, okay.
I'm not afraid of women.
I'm not afraid of women.
That dude is a woman.
That no straight man sits that way. Unless he's trying to hide his boner.
That is a female pose.
Yeah, that's how women sit, or really gay men.
They want to control their bodies. I say go for it.
They want to use IVF to start.
Can we just talk? Wait, hang on.
I'm not afraid of women.
They want to.
Can we just talk about him for a minute?
Yeah.
This is one of their things of manly. He's got a beard. He's got to be manly.
Yeah, look, that dude's probably a bear. He goes to like really really gay bars and he's like, I'm really gay.
I would not be. Look, if you just showed me this picture and said, "Why do you think people are talking about this guy?" My guess would be they found kids buried in his yard.
Partly eaten.
Yeah.
Yeah, that like the dude's creepy as shit. But also he strikes me as the kind of guy like did you ever see Harold and Kumar go to White Castle?
Oh God, yeah.
Okay, there's that scene where they run into the guy from Law and Order who's wearing all the makeup to look really fugly.
hmm
And they meet his wife and they're about to get it on and he walks in, he's like, "All right." He looks like that kind of guy.
We also did skip over the bear hug moment. I'm not afraid of bears. I'm going to be honest with you. I am afraid of bears. And if you're not, you're retarded.
Yeah, why wouldn't you be afraid of bears? They're very dangerous animals. You're just dumb if you're not afraid of bears. I'm sorry. Even if
I'm
you're
not
armed,
afraid.
you should be a little worried.
I'm not afraid of bears. That's what bear hugs are for. Tell you what, homie. Go out and hug a wild black bear. Go out and hug a wild grizzly. I want to see what happens. Please film it.
That's why I think they're talking about the other kind of bear.
I'm
Where they're
sure
like,
you're.
"Grr, I'm a bear."
And then they happen to show this guy.
Yeah, see? That's what bear hug. This dude gives free hugs, I guarantee it. Real quick though, thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Keldrick. A woman held a knife to his back and threatened him to talk in this commercial. That would not surprise me either. There's probably somebody like, "Come on, Grandpa, just do this for me. If you loved me, you would."
Thank you, Frosted. I'm man enough to tell guys to squeal like a pig. Yes. I don't even get the bear line because they're trying to reference the whole women aren't afraid or would rather be in the woods with a bear. But that's women being. You should be afraid of bears. It's not that's not manly to go, "I'm not afraid of bears." That's dumb. Jack, I love big cats and I would love to go and hug and pet on an actual tiger, but I am afraid of them because they could kill me in a second.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're scary. And they're predators like bears.
I'll hug a bear. Yeah, we're talking about real bears though, not the guy you let bang you in the ass, homie. Anyway,
Control their bodies, I say go for it.
They want to use IVF to start a family? I'm not afraid of families.
They want to be childless cat ladies.
Have all the cats you want.
Woman wants to be president?
Well, I hope she has the guts to look me right in the eye and accept my full-throated endorsement.
what? I hope she has the guts to get my support.
His full-throated endorsement.
I mean, it's Kamala, so full-throated was the right way to phrase that.
Yeah, but what he's saying is more appropriate for Big Mike.
What he's saying is retarded. They're trying to be this is what they think manliness is.
Yeah, just go out in front of a cornfield and sit on your truck in the most natural position you can think of. And you go over in this mechanic area and look like you're working on a motorcycle.
Michelle, thank you. The guy in the truck tailgate sits when he pees. It's funny you should say that. Oh, I do know where I saw this. It was Politibunny.
Oh.
And my response to that was, I'm glad to see that men who sit while they pee are standing up for women. Because that was my thought when I watched this. I'm like, these guys all squat.
Yeah.
They take off their bloomers and tinkle one out in the ladies' room as they check their makeup. To the guy on the screen, I don't know who he is, but just a heads up for you. If you're sitting in a position meant to highlight your breasts, you're probably sitting like a woman.
Yeah.
Keldrick, thank you. That dude is 100% afraid of family. Well, a lot of these guys are more afraid of families finding out than they are afraid of family.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, just saying. Anyway, here comes, I think the next part is the part that just fucking floored me, man.
Because I'm man enough to support women.
Man enough to know what kind of donuts I like.
Man enough.
What?
He's man enough to know what kind of donuts he likes, Monkey. Because, most people, they don't know if they like bear claws. They're like, I don't know. I'm on the fence about sprinkles or frosting. I just don't know. Because I'm not man enough to know.
Is there some kind of donut thing that I missed?
I have no idea. But you know what donuts have? Holes. And you know what women have?
The last donut thing I saw was Ariana Grande licking some.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's that.
All right.
Because I'm man enough to support women.
Man enough to know what kind of donuts I like.
Man enough to admit I'm lost, even when I refuse to ask for directions.
So you admit you're lost and refuse to ask for directions? That doesn't make you manly. It makes you stupid. This is one of the, look, I get lost all the time, and it's not, I will stop and ask for directions if I'm so lost that I can't figure out where I'm at. I've had to do it many times, Jack.
Oh, yeah. We're from the days before GPS, so that was actual necessity.
I couldn't
you didn't know where you were. You had to go ask.
Yeah, I couldn't pull up Google Maps and it'd take me back to the road. I'd be like, fuck, I hope there is a gas station around here. I haven't seen civilization in days. But who the fuck even needs to, how do you get lost now, homie? Everybody has a GPS, whether they bought a GPS or not, because it's on their fucking phone, you retard. But they had to go to the manly stereotype.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. These are all sitcom dad things.
He's still manly because he gets lost, but he's manly enough to admit that he's lost. Then you should ask for directions, homie. I'm man enough to acknowledge the 19th was a mistake.
Man enough to not ban young women from reading Little Women.
Nobody is banning Little Women.
Did I miss something? Because I feel like that would have been a big thing.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard anyone trying to ban Little Women.
Katie says I'm more manly than these creeps, and I don't feel that you're probably manly at all, and I believe you.
I think
I've seen vagina manlier than these guys.
I think if you see these guys in a dark alley, you should be manly enough to run away.
Ugh. I don't know. I feel like I could take all of them, and I'm an old cripple guy.
Yeah, but your cornhole might hurt if you lose.
All I'd have to do is go, "You're ugly," and they'd start crying. I wouldn't even have to make a joke about their mom to make them cry.
Or one of those pants books that the sisters like.
I'm man enough to...
Oh, wait. That's a great... I forgot that he does that. So this guy tells us Little Women.
And young women from reading Little Women.
Or one of those pants books that the sisters like.
He's referring to the sisterhood of the traveling pants. And he's too manly to even know that title, Jack. He's too manly to even know the title of the book. Again, not a book that anybody's trying to ban.
No. Little Women, by the way, is being criticized for its use of traditional gender roles.
That makes more sense than people trying to stop girls from reading it.
Yeah. If you've ever read it, it's boring as shit.
I believe this is the part that starts the cringe I was talking about earlier.
I'm man enough to raw dog a flight.
Yep, that's the one I had to look up. Do you know what raw dogging a flight is, Jack?
Is that where you take your shoes off on the plane?
Nope.
Oh.
This is something that millennials have once again destroyed. For those of you who don't know, raw dogging means having sex without protection. In this case, they raw dogging a flight. I had to look this up. It means not using any kind of entertainment while you're on a flight, just staring directly ahead.
That's stupid and has nothing to do with raw dogging. I just assumed he likes to go bareback with his partner.
They've ruined raw dogging.
Fucking kids, man.
How do you, one, how is that raw dogging at all? I don't, are you getting the seat pregnant?
Yeah, I don't. Is there a possibility somebody's getting penetrated in this? Because I haven't heard it yet.
At some point we're going to get to where they have ruined every part of language, and I just can't wait till we get there.
This game's so fucking annoying. Tower of Babel levels annoying.
I raw dog a flight. If somebody told me they raw dogged a flight, I would think they had sex, join the Mile High Club without a condom.
Yeah. Yeah, they were banging in a bathroom unprotected with some skank.
Nope. It means sitting there without your phone, just kind of sitting there.
Yeah, you mean napping? Yeah, I do that all the time.
Bullwinkle, thank you. No books are being banned. Some are being removed from school libraries as inappropriate for the age groups. True. And they could have at least done one of those. Like that guy could have been like, I'm man enough to think little kids should be reading about vaginal jelly in comic books at school. At least be honest about it, right?
Yeah. But they went with Little Women and the traveling Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants or whatever the fuck it is.
Logical Male, thank you. This commercial is more condescending than the Gillette commercial. It really is. This is so bad.
Yeah, I don't know who thought this was a good idea because this is terrible.
Anyway, he raw dogged a flight, a term I guarantee you somebody had to tell him.
Oh, yeah. He's probably like, I got laid on an airplane.
It sucked. Not worth it.
I'm man.
Well, it's a good thing women talked you into. You're man enough that you did a woman thing. Good job. And it sucked. Should tell you what you need to know about copying women like you are right now, you little bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I did not mean to go back that far.
I'm man enough to raw dog a flight. It sucked. Not worth it.
I'm man enough to be emotional in front of my wife.
In front of my kids.
In front of my horse.
I am man enough to be emotional in front of my horse.
It's bad enough they were being emotional in front of their wives.
And children.
Yeah.
Look, I've leaned on Lady Monkey when I get emotional, Jack, in private. It's not something you do in front of your children.
Yeah.
But why is he getting emotional in front of his horse? And why would that? Is the horse judging him? Is the horse going like, pick yourself up, faggot? What's wrong with you? Shit. Oh my God.
Yeah. Look at you. Look at you, Mr. Potty Mouth.
I didn't say it. His horse did.
Yeah, Mr. Ed said it. You guys heard that, right? Mr.
We're
Ed.
2 hours in. Hopefully it's not a big deal. Whoopsie.
Well, you were talking about bundles of sticks, so it's cool.
If his horse does say that to him, I'm on the horse's side.
Yeah. I don't blame Mr. Ed from running away from this retard. Look, I went 50 years without seeing my dad cry more than twice. Once at his mom's funeral, totally acceptable, and once when my brother died. Totally acceptable. Those are the only 2 times I ever saw him cry.
One of the worst moments with everything that's gone on with me, Jack, was crying in front of my son. I of all the stuff that I've been through with this, I hate that part of it.
Yeah.
And I had no control over it. It's not something I do in front of my children. It's not that I'm telling my son that crying isn't okay. It's that there's a time and a place. Frank, thank you. I guess this is coming down. No, I'm not taking it down. We'll see what happens with it. But thank you so much. I guess this is coming down, Wilbur. And Ragnar, thank you. If anything, a horse is an animal right next to dogs. It's okay for a man to show some emotion too. Okay. My problem with what he said there, though, is the horse couldn't judge it. If you are so, how do I say this? Back in the day, we'd just say gay. So sissified, such a fucking pussy that you're worried about how your horse is going to react to you being emotional. You shouldn't even be around people.
Yeah, you're a little too effeminate in that case.
How the fuck is that even a worry in your mind? Oh my God, my horse might judge me. I'm with the horse, honestly. Anyway.
I'm man enough to tell you that I cry at Love Actually.
Good Will Hunting.
West Side Story. That and Predator.
See, if you have a reason to cry, that's one thing. But a sad story, come on, dude. Put your tampon back in.
I have cried at movies very rarely, and it's not that I'm not, or that I'm ashamed of it or anything, but what do you think you're doing here with this? You cried at Predator?
Well, I mean, who didn't cry at Terminator? They didn't even try and save him.
You cried at Predator?
Maybe it was the Chris Hansen kind of Predator.
Jesus Christ. Frank, thank you so much. Everybody hurts sometimes. I know the song, but I'm not singing it. Everybody hurts. All right.
I'm sick of so-called men domineering, belittling.
I'm sorry. You're the guy I dropped the F-bomb on just a little bit ago. You do not get to talk about being sick of men.
I'm sick of men. Ugh. With your manliness. Ugh.
Still haven't watched Godzilla +1 yet, or -1 yet. No, I haven't. I have it queued up to go, but I haven't had time where I can just sit down and enjoy a movie. Okay, that's not entirely true, but I used that time to rewatch Deadpool because it came out on Steam stream finally. It is queued up and ready to go. I just haven't watched it yet.
Belittling and controlling women just so they can feel more powerful.
That's not how my mama raised me.
I love women.
I love women who support their families.
Women who decide not to have families.
Women who take charge.
And I'm man enough to help them win.
Can I just point out that they were just talking about women, plural, and they put up a picture of Kamala and Tim?
Yeah. Well, let's face it. Tim's kind of a woman.
He's going to help them win. And they put up Tim as one of the them women's, which is accurate.
Yeah.
But damn. I don't like men who control women. So you don't like Kamala's husband?
Smacking a bitch up.
Because he be smacking bitches up, knocking them up, and making them get abortions. These guys are men only by technicality. I am not convinced that those were men. I mean, the one definitely had too much hair to just have the pubic hair beard that they get from testosterone. But the others, every one of them could be female, especially the fat guy. He had big old titties, so
yeah.
Titty man there definitely could have been born female. Anyway,
if these are men, these are very gay men, because that was a really gay ad.
I don't like you, Jack.
What?
This story, what the ever-loving shit.
Oh, well, I was going to surprise you with that video, but you had already seen it, so had to one-up it.
Star Wars unveils first look of its first trans woman stormtrooper called Sister with armor in the color of the transgender flag.
Yeah, they're not even trying anymore. They've just given up completely.
Oh, dear Lord. The new characters addition has left fans of the Galaxy Far, Far Away saga split, with some branding it utterly insane gender cult worship and moronic, while others rage that it was batshit crazy pussy take.
I have to agree with all of that.
Piss take.
Whatever. Same difference. This is just stupid. It's so ham-fistedly lazy.
So it's a male stormtrooper is what they're telling me.
One with a mental disorder, yes.
It's a male stormtrooper wearing pink and purple. All right.
So that's how you know that that's a trans person. Because how dare you shoot a trans person? You think Luke Skywalker would have shot this stormtrooper? No. You know why? Because he's not a bigot.
I mean, this is the thing, I guess. That clone would have been liquidated by the Kaminoans and labeled as defective. Thank you so much for that, feminist $12, Dark Resurrect. Yeah.
You really hadn't heard about this?
I really had not heard about this.
Oh my god, yeah. Sadly, I found out about it yesterday, day before, whatever the article came out, and made me sad.
Yeah. I mean, sure. The dreadlock sporting soldier first appeared in a reference in an earlier 2022 novel, A Queen's Hope, before later being depicted in a piece of fan art. Now her story and picture has been featured in Star Wars: The Secret of the Clone Trooper.
The secret's a wiener.
They didn't even mean to do that.
No, they didn't.
All right. Star Wars: The Secrets of the Clone Troopers, which added her to the franchise's official lore. So it's Star Wars: The Trap series.
Yes.
The Secrets of the. Oh my god.
Yeah, she's a clone trooper, so somehow that one slipped through quality control. The bulge is real. Yes.
Why the clone trooper don't look like Jango Fett?
Dude, you're really overanalyzing that. I don't know. Because these people have no quality control or continuity or sense of lore. It's just about the message, as Critical Drinker likes to say it.
Okay, that is really bad art. You have the face way too realistic for the rest of the art style.
That's the fanfic one, I think.
That's bad.
Well, I mean, we're talking about Star Wars. It's not like they have standards.
I do like that the tuck job is apparently good enough that their cod piece can be flat against their pubic area.
Yeah, well, they're also farting the trans flag, apparently. So
wow.
Yeah, it's a real thing that's happening. Star Wars is fucking useless.
It's just proof that the prequels are what really ruined Star Wars.
See, I don't think I think the High Republic is what really did. That's where we got things like the Navigator, Geode, the Rock. It's a literal rock that flies a ship called Ship or Starship, I think it's called. They just don't care. These people are not fans. They're just there to subvert expectations and try and launch their writing careers in whatever they actually care about.
Amazing Disgrace says stormtroopers were all about individuality. It's true. It's true. That's why every one of them except Sister there look identical.
Star Wars is a crying game.
The Secrets of Clone Troopers. Jesus Christ. I'm
telling you that if Disney ever wises up before they utterly collapse, which is looking more and more unlikely, they need to go in and fire all of the Star Wars people and retcon Legends back into the main continuity and just pretend that their sequel trilogy was an alternate universe take. Be like, oh, that was part of the Marvel universe, multiverse nonsense. We're just not going to look at it anymore. Shut up.
Frosted, thank you. Open your blast doors. Huh? Yeah.
There's a smuggler among us.
If they want to save Star Wars, they got to go back, and everything after Jedi just needs scrapped. Start over.
Yeah, like there were a lot of good novels out there they could leave in canon. but all the crap that Disney has done needs to be just completely ignored. It's the only way they're going to save it. Nobody gives a shit about this garbage. They have bleeding fans, they're bleeding money, and they haven't learned. And they don't care to, because the message is so important. You will learn to like it, you bigot.
They can't even make it make sense. I mean, there is no reason. Especially you're talking to the clone troopers. You're well before actual stormtroopers when they're literal clones of Jango.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And no. This one somehow actually is a woman in a male's body. They all have the exact same brain.
Yeah, it would tell me that it's a defect, like everybody in chat's been saying. They would have liquidated this one and went on with a new one. Granted, there's always going to be some quality control mistakes. It just happens in production. And they would have recycled that one and went on with the next batch.
And they're like, no, we're going to make... I do love that they made the bad guys trans. At least that's funny. Although this will probably be one of those stormtroopers like Finn who just knows better. Because that made total sense. A stormtrooper with a conscience. These guys really need to wrap their heads around the idea of good and evil. They just can't.
They can't, because they can't admit evil exists, because then it creates a dichotomy. And they don't believe in the concept of evil. You're just misunderstood. Or you're a bigot for thinking someone's evil.
The Spaceball rules. Spaceballs rules. As I read that, I'm like, this is the kind of thing that in Spaceballs would have been a joke.
Yeah.
And no, they're like trans clone trooper, not even a stormtrooper, a clone trooper. Dangerous, thank you. My theory is people piggyback on a popular franchise to spread their preferred message to a large audience. Problem being they're making the audience disappear, leaving nobody to hear said message.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
They've said that. They want the brand recognition.
Yeah. It's the same thing that like they've done with Lincoln. Lincoln was gay. It's not because they actually care if Lincoln was gay or not. But if you tie gayness to Lincoln, then there's a good tie. So see, gay is fine. Gay is good. This has been part of the gay agenda. And I'm not anybody gay in the audience. Sorry if this upsets you, but it's true. It's been part of what the gay agenda has been doing since the 80s.
Yeah.
Latch on to something popular. That way you can look, we're just like you. It's underhanded. It works. I mean, it's basically just propaganda. That's what it is.
Yeah. Thank you, stepson. You're my only hope. Apparently, R2D2 was a dryer. Once you turn a stormtrooper over, does it really count? I don't know. I've never encountered a stormtrooper or a clone trooper, so I'm not sure how the diddly bits work. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But
inject their gayness. It's just to legitimize. That's what it is. It's legitimizing their thing by tacking it on to popular stuff.
Yeah. It's a sad and obvious attempt at manipulating the audience of a pre-existing franchise, and they even admit to it. So it's not like it's a hidden agenda. They're very upfront with what they're doing. They did it with She-Ra. They were very upfront about it there.
Yep.
And they've done it with a dozen other things. They've done it with Masters of the Universe, which even had some homosexual overtones in the original cartoon. So they didn't really need to do that. But there's no subtlety with these people. They've done it with all the major franchises, not just the gaying of a lot of main characters, but inserting like racial swaps and racial politics storylines. For God's sake, they said the orcs were black people.
Yeah.
In D&D.
Michelle, thank you. I'm probably reaching here, but this ad might also be trying to validate Knucklehead, kind of like the campaign of Joy was to validate Kamala's horrendous cackle. They just aren't very good at this stuff. I hear what you're saying there, but no, it's their complete lack of understanding of what men are. They are in an outreach program right now to men because they have a male problem. And they went, I know, let's go there and talk about rare meat and not asking directions and pretend we don't know the name of the book that we read every night. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's lazy cliches that they're going with. It's really out of touch and sad.
I guarantee you that guy who went, the sisters with the pants, he's seen the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, owns the book, and probably has posters on his wall of it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist $12. The thing is, they are trying to normalize this for the next generation. This is the modern audience they speak of. It's not here yet. They're trying to create it. And you're not wrong, but this is something they've been trying to do for a while, and they were actually successful in the past, and it's just not working now because it's so bad.
Yeah, because they have terrible. It's hard to be creative when you're in this kind of death cult because there are so many eggshells you have to walk on. You can't offend anyone, so you have to do these sort of middling mediocrity storylines that are often mediocre as the good ones. It's really pathetic.
If you're real quick, hi Mofo, how you doing? Sorry you
Hey, Mofo.
didn't get a notice about the stream. If you were going to have a trans character in Star Wars, one, why would you make it a bad guy?
Oh,
Two,
it's probably going to be a hero.
Yeah, sure, eventually. But two, why would you make it somebody who's their whole thing is literally that there is no individuality there?
Because they don't think anything through. Again, they're not familiar with the lore, so they don't care. I doubt the person that wrote the book even saw the movies. They probably read a Wikipedia on it and was like, good enough. And then they wrote their stupid little piece on it. These are glorified fan fiction from what the term I was introduced to is tourists. They're not fans, they're tourists. They're there while it's popular to try and get their message out.
And that's fine, but Star Wars, the brand embracing it is just pathetic.
Yeah, but I've said this many times in the past, and I think I'm going to be proven right. What they're going to try and do is vault all the old stuff. They've already done it with the old books. They took them out of print for a really long time, and a lot of them are still out of print because even though they were like 20, 30 years old, a lot of them were still selling. And they took them out of print because they wanted the new stuff. And you're going to start seeing that the remakes that they're going to do and the new stories are what is going to become the recognizable ones. It's the ones they're going to put on the streaming services. Just they took out what's the name of that movie? Song of the South. And you can't find it anywhere unless you find a bootleg copy or you go to some Russian high seas site. But finding a good copy of that is damn near impossible because they've buried it. And they're going to do that with a lot of this other media if they can get their way. They're going to do remakes of old programs and look at how they treat stuff that they do remake. Like Starsky and Hutch, it's a joke. Chips, it's a joke. Everything they've remade is either poorly done or it's a joke.
Yep. I mean, even the 21 Jump Street one, which was well received, but it took a very serious show. 21 Jump Street, the show, was not a comedy at all.
Not at all.
And they turned it into a fucking buddy cop comedy.
Yeah. Because anything from the past must be made fun of. So that's what they're doing. And when they do remakes, they're always terrible. Look at that Charlie's Angels one. The last one they did. It's fucking garbage. The last Terminator one.
That wasn't for you.
Most
You're a
things
man.
aren't.
You're a man. That wasn't made for you. How come men didn't watch this?
Yeah, that's the hypocrisy of it. But it's an effort to forget about the old show so that you can replace it with something new and more modern. And they've done that time and time again. And then they stop airing the originals.
I cut you off. You were bringing up Terminator. Sorry about that. The Terminator one is a great one because they just destroyed the whole franchise with that.
Oh,
shit.
yeah. Yeah, they killed John Connor immediately, which resets the entire universe. And now we have this illegal immigrant Mexican lady who is now the chosen one. They rebooted the entire franchise so they could send the message and get rid of that evil white guy. Straight one, ew, icky.
But it's failing enough now that I don't think they'll ever get the message.
No, they have to lose a lot more money.
I think we'll see a lot of these companies who push this shit go out of business.
Yeah, and some of them are starting to turn around. They're starting to make more traditional movies. They realize that action movies actually sell. But it's a slow turn because they have to lose a lot of money. And a lot of them, like you said, will never get the message because they don't want to hear it. They don't care about the money. They care about the message. And they've done this girl boss shit so much. People are sick of it. It's not entertaining. It's just, if I want a sermon, I'll go to church.
All right. And with that, guys, we are going to wrap this up. I pulled up the article about the Scrubs reboot, and I'm laughing because it's written by Maria Butt with 2 T's. Oh, that's wonderful. No, get this shit off my screen. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you for the donations. You guys are way too kind, but please keep it up. I got my copy of Red Dead. I cannot wait for August 29th so I can play it. Jack, it annoyed me because I went to buy it and my internet had a hiccup right as I was going to where you actually pay. And it put it into a perpetual state of waiting.
Oh.
And I had to file a ticket to get it to where I could actually get the game. But they got it fixed pretty quickly. They're like, oh, you want to give us money? Please do. Thank you, Retro, for helping me get that. I appreciate it. Guys, you guys are awesome. Thanks for coming out every night, no matter what time we do this, and hanging out with us and entertaining us almost as much as we hope we entertain you. Jack, anything you want to show?
I dropped a link to a cool video. As always, thank you so much for all the donations. You guys are awesome. I am hoping to watch the Babylon Bee movie. I don't know if you saw the trailer for that.
I want to see it.
Oh, it looks so funny. They did a movie about January 6th called The Most Deadliest Day.
Yes.
And I'm excited to watch it. It looks hilarious. But thank you guys so much for all the support you give us. Like, share, subscribe. You know the drills. All our links are in the description if you want to find other channels or buy merch or whatever. But you guys are awesome for coming out and sitting through the entire show.
Not much more to say. I'm going to try to go to bed and get a few more hours of sleep before my day today. So, guys, thanks for hanging out. Jack, a pleasure as always.
Always glad to be here.
Everyone, have a wonderful night. Take care of yourselves, and we will see y'all next time.
Bye, everybody.
Democrats think men are women because they're fucking retarded. That's all.